Always hate the fact that it has to do that, but start a couple of minutes early. Nothing out of the question, nothing out of line, nothing crazy. But that way we'll do it this way. We'll just have a chat today going on the ongoing things. Basically any changes that we're gonna do. We're gonna be doing changes with the workshops. The workshops are not gonna be but I'll wait and I'll make that as a full announcement, I would say. Because we have there's a bunch of stuff going on with the VA. That's always there. It's always a statement, or it's always information that is coming out that a lot of people just are not receiving I guess you could say, the proper information would be the best way of putting it. Because there's a lot of stuff that comes out that most people don't hear about with all the other nonsense going on. These are situations, and we're in that time frame where it's just like, hey, you want to make sure that veterans are being taken care of and stuff, but at the same time, you have to recognize that some of these veterans, um, I guess you could say, elected to do this. Some veterans elected for these choices. Some people chose and thought, hey, this would be the best thing for me to do, or the best thing to do was to basically hinder themselves, I guess is the best way of putting it. Because the only way you can hinder yourself and not, basically, you're not allowing yourself to benefit, plain and simple, because you elected and chose to vote against you elected to vote against your primary issues. You elected to vote against your highest concerns. You elected to vote against reason. You elected to vote against people that actually spent the time to actually educate themselves and actually learn what these situations were, what is going on, why do we have them. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we have the issue with right now, is that most people don't seem to understand that. A lot of people voted for this situation, but they're not going to admit that. They're not going to admit that they voted for this. They're not going to admit that, oh, we did this. We were the cause for this, or whatever the case may be. It's going to be these same people that are going to be negligent on the fact that it was just like, hey, you voted for this situation. You voted for supposedly revamping. You voted for supposedly draining the swamp. You voted for less paying, less payments, less taxes, less grocery prices, less pharmaceutical. Like, I could keep on going for all the stuff that a lot of people said that they voted for and they're not receiving. When it comes to the veteran end, it's even more highlighted due to the fact that a lot of people don't understand how the VA actually operates. A lot of people don't understand, as veterans don't understand, or even people that are not veterans don't understand how and what takes place when it comes to dealing with the VA. And it's always people that is just like ignorant to the fact that they don't understand the fact that it's just like, hey, you chose this. You chose to have longer wait times. You chose to have doctors be removed or not want to work. So basically, the less hiring and the less people that they are means more wait times, which for some veterans and for some people, they don't understand that. And that's going to happen with regular healthcare and veteran healthcare. If you don't have the doctors willing to work, if you don't have the nurses willing to work in whatever facility you go to, you're obviously not going to get care in a timely manner. You're going to fall in line with everybody else, and you're going to continue to try to figure out why it is that we are falling behind so much. Why is it that I can't get an appointment for 4 or 5 months? Oh, that's right, because the hospital that I used to go to, or the community care I used to go to, may not be there anymore, or may not be in contract with the military anymore, or the VA basically. The same way most people don't understand that with all these changes to Medicaid and Medicare, it still brings cost up, even if it doesn't affect you directly. And that's the part that most people don't understand. Even though those cuts don't affect you, even though, yeah, you don't have any Medicare or any Medicaid, or you don't have anybody on it, or you don't listen to anybody that's on it, it's still gonna affect you. Because the thing is prices and timing is still going to change. Whether you like it or not, the timing is going to change. Because there are less people to take care of you. We have a shortage in the VA of 90% of facilities are understaffed. I don't think there's ever been a actual report that's come out seeing how understaffed your hospital may be. Most people don't even realize how understaffed their hospital is, and they go to it all the time. They wonder why it is that they have to go to the emergency room, and in the emergency room, even if it's not a super urgent care thing, they end up what? Waiting 2-3 hours or something just to be seen. And most people don't process that. Most people don't go through that situation like, oh my God, maybe I would be educated enough to know that. But most of the time people aren't educated enough to actually think about that process. Because insurance claims are going to go up. Less things are going to be covered. I saw a video not that long ago about a nurse that was calling the insurance company because a person needed an EpiPen. A nurse needed an EpiPen for their patient. And he called insurance, and insurance was just like, we don't cover that. So it's just like a life-threatening illness that they have. Well, I wouldn't say illness, but something that they deal with that can be life-threatening. If you need an EpiPen, that's life-threatening. That means you can go into a problem real fast if you don't know what you're eating, or you don't know what you're around, or whatever the case may be. But imagine you having already an insurance premium. You pay your insurance premium. You supposedly have coverage in your insurance, and you're not covered by that. A lot of veterans fall into the same problem too because of the fact that they don't have. Most veterans use the VA directly as their medical insurance. Those that don't have their own insurance, they have their own medical insurance, which is the VA. So they go to the VA for everything. So if you have any issues, it's going to take longer. Why? Because if you're going to the VA, that means you're not going to be able to make it. So my hair is gorgeous. I think my hair care is okay with the curls I got. But appreciate it though. But that's the thing. Now, we can take any scenarios and we can look at different scenarios when it comes to veterans, or we can come to MAGA, we can come to anybody of the case, right? So let's say you get injured or you have an accident or whatever the case may be. You have to go to the doctor. Most of the time, if it's not that you went to the emergency room to get checked out directly because of an accident or the issue, you have to wait for your primary doctor, right? So if you have to wait for your primary doctor to get to something, that means you have to make an appointment. The appointment takes time. Now, remember, you are going to a facility that is being used by everybody else, whether it's your community or whether it's other veterans. If you are making an appointment for something that is specific, because remember, there's specialties in doctors. Doctors have specialties in all stuff, and they cover certain ailments or certain diseases or neurological, whatever the case may be. If you end up having, let's say, a issue with musculoskeletal, which is one of the most common things that most veterans have, or even most people have. If, let's say, you have degenerative disc disease, that's something that will not get better over time. That's something that will deteriorate as you continue. But that's something that you have to pay attention to because of the fact that if you have degenerative disc disease, you're going to lose cartilage in your disc, between your discs. So now, at first, that may not sound like a big issue. It may not. But down the line, your health may deteriorate. Your back may deteriorate. So you want to go and get an appointment, right? But mind you, because of the change of Medicare and Medicaid, some of the hospitals that are near you may be shutting down. Some of the hospitals will not get the funding because they were being additionally funded by the federal government to be able to cover the cost of people going and not paying their bills. Because you got to remember, how many people don't go to the doctor or don't go to the emergency room and don't pay their bills? It's not. We're not gonna act like people don't do that. We're not gonna act like people don't do that. In the VA is different because it's gonna be covered through the veteran stuff, but it's still gonna take time. But in the regular health insurance side, it's still gonna take time. You still gotta go through, get the referral, right? You gotta talk to your primary care. So you gotta make that appointment first. So you gotta make the appointment with your primary care so that they can identify and diagnose you with something and see what's wrong with you. Then you have to wait for the referral. Now, with the referral, you have to wait on the referral because they have to refer you to whoever it is. Most people don't pay attention to the fact that there's out of network and in network. Most people don't pay attention to that when it comes to that because most people are just like, you know what, I'm sick, I'll deal with it. I'll take some fucking Tussin. I'll put some Vicks Vapor Rub on and I'm good to go. Plain and simple. That's the remedy for most people. They're not gonna go to the doctor. They're not gonna go and pay to get seen, to get diagnosed when you know something's going on, and then you're gonna go to the next one. You're gonna go to the doctor, and then you're gonna realize that it's just like, damn, I gotta wait for a referral now. Now I gotta find a referral to another location, to another place, which is in my network. Because remember, if you go to a place that's out of network, they're not gonna cover it. They're not going to cover it if you're out of network. So if you still decide, because, hey, maybe it's just like, you know what? This doctor that I heard of is great for my degenerative disc disease. He knows, he does treatment. He's gotten great reviews and stuff like that. I want to go see this guy. And then you realize the fact that, oh my God, this person isn't in my network. So I can't directly see this person through a referral because it's not going to be covered. It's the same thing that happens with the VA and veterans that they don't understand. If it's not on the same page, if it's not in the same thing, you're not going to get covered. Just because you have a doctor that may be next door to you, you can have a doctor next door. If they are not in contract with the VA, you are not going to be able to be seen by that doctor unless you are paying out of pocket. So now it's, hey, do you want the VA to cover it, but we're going to send you to this doctor all the way over here? Or do you want to pay out of pocket just because you want to make sure you see that doctor? Most of the time, most people don't want to go see that doctor because of the fact that they would have to pay out of pocket, where they know their medical insurance would cover it. The medical insurance would cover it if they go into that doctor, but other times they're going to be like, you know what, damn. How much? Because the thing is they never tell you the cost if it's out of network, but then you'll go and since it's out of network, and then it's like, the craziest part to me is like the insurance tries to charge you more because of the fact that they're out of network. Like, bro, I should be paying that doctor's prices, not your prices. Because the thing is they weren't covering it in the fucking first place. So it's just like, you mean to tell me I got to pay more for something that you weren't even covering in the first place? But I bet you if you went directly to that doctor, it'd be cheaper. You still got your premium. You still going to pay for it. And it's not going to get any better. But at the same time, see, now you don't have that ability to go to that doctor that's close by. Or you don't have the ability to go to the VA hospital or something like that. Well, you're going to go to the VA hospital, but then you're going to go and you're going to be like, hey, primary doctor, I need a referral for this. And they'll be like, okay, let's check out what we have. Oh shit, we don't have any doctors available for this ailment you have. Degenerative, we don't have chiropractors available here. And matter of fact, the chiropractor that we do have here is booked till fucking 2029 or some dumb shit. It's so, I'm exaggerating. Yes, I'm exaggerating, I know. But it's always something that is not, you're not gonna get an appointment within the next week. You're gonna wait a while. Now imagine you have back issues, you have back spasms, you went to your primary, but now you're going to your specialist to try to get seen, and that shit is like 5 months away. What are you supposed to do for 5 months when your back is giving out? What are you supposed to do with any ailment that you have for 5 months if you can't be seen? Who are you gonna blame? You gonna blame the doctors for doing a good job and having too many people to go see him? You're not going to blame the people that decided to cut the funding that would help have more doctors. Because the thing is most people don't want to work in a situation that's not comfortable for them. I don't think anybody wants to go into a job not knowing if they're going to have a job the next day. That's why a lot of doctors in the VA and the nurses are just like, yo, I don't agree with this administration, or I don't agree with these changes. So I'm going to go elsewhere and get a job somewhere else, get paid more, take advantage of the stuff there. But most people don't understand it, and most people don't pay attention to that. Most people don't see the fact that it's just like, oh, this is what's going on. Shit, you got most of the country, like this dude came in and says, like, it's football season. Yeah, it's another distraction for everybody else. Everybody's going to get distracted on Sunday when they could be paying attention to what's going on in the world, going on in the community, going on in their neighborhood. And no, they're not paying attention to that. They're going to watch football. Football being the biggest thing right now because it's the biggest distraction you have on a Sunday. And then you have people getting pissed off at each other. Oh, because my team this, my team that. And I was just like, we got bigger concerns than my team this, my team that. When those people that are playing this game of football are making millions and have healthcare that yo ass don't. But that's the mentality of people. People just throw it off, leave it alone, not pay attention to it. And that's the same thing that happens with veterans. It happens with veterans and it happens with most people. That they do that, they don't pay attention to it. They just wanna go about their day. See, that's the thing, Trini. A lot of people don't understand that, and a lot of people aren't paying attention to the fact that their state has different Medicare, Medicaid. They call it different. In Cali, it's called Medi-Cal. In some of these red states, it is a. If you're in a Republican state, you probably have some sort of Medicare, some sort of Medicaid, some way, some shape or form. It may not be called the same thing because the thing is so many people were against Obamacare that when they said it was just like, oh, it has to do with that. No, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want it. This, and that. I don't want to listen to it. But then when they decided to change it and put something else, they do that. But most of the time, most of these red states and most people don't understand that a lot of this gets federally funded. There's a lot of federal funds that go to that. A lot of federal funds are being cut left and right for supposed money saving or budget saving or deficit saving, whatever fucking bullshit dumbasses want to fucking believe. They're going to believe the fact that it's just like, oh, these are the changes that are happening. And I was just like, yeah, you're going to lose a lot of fucking money. You're going to lose a lot of fucking coverage. You're going to lose a lot of hospitals. You're going to lose a lot of doctors. Because the thing is what most people don't realize, especially in these red states. The red states don't realize that most people leave those red states because they don't get paid enough. If you're from a red state and you decide to leave to a most likely a Democratic city, a blue city. Why? Because they're going to pay you more. They're going to actually pay you I wouldn't say what you're worth, but they're going to pay you more in a more adequate and better way for you than you going to and staying in that red state. That red state with that small town that has that small hospital that everybody goes to but never gets the fucking funding. That hospital is not going to have the people or is not going to have the doctors to support it. Why? Because if you're a medical doctor, you're not going to try to work for crumbs on the dollar. You just not. If you notice, most doctors end up leaving and they end up starting their own practices. And that's what we have with the VA. People don't understand the fact that it's just like Republicans are naive to the fact that they don't understand that you would actually run into the problem where you are not going to get federal funding. We already see how the federal funding is going with our farmers in those red states. Now imagine when it starts trickling down to the corporations not paying people adequately and then insurance coverage not covering you correctly. That's one of the things that most of these ignorant MAGA and Republicans don't understand. It's just that there's a, you know how they like to call it trickle down economics? It is trickle down economics, but it ends up trickling down for you to pay more. But Republicans is too ignorant and too stupid to realize that. People that voted for this are too ignorant to understand that it's just like, this stuff is happening, but somehow they're not aware. This stuff is happening, but they're the ones that are asking for assistance now. This is happening, but when assistance isn't going to be there, what are they going to do? What are red states going to do? Because the thing is you know they're not going to blame this administration because this administration does nothing wrong for them. For them, this administration has never been wrong, has never caused an issue, has been helping them win the whole time, remember? Because they've been winning the whole time. But they haven't doing anything. Everybody wants to say that you move to a bigger city and it's bigger crime, but then the statistics show that these Republican states have more crime. It's already been statistically proven. The stats that Republicans like to use is something that I found from another page that they did the research, because you know MAGA's not going to do the research. The identifying factor for cities with supposedly such high crime rate are cities that have over 1 million in population. Tell me how many of those are ranked. Funny, out of those rankings, there's only 5 cities. Out of those cities, all of them happen to be blue cities. Out of those cities, all of them have to have a number of population more than 1 million. So the reason why Republicans don't get put into that statistic is because they don't even have 1 million people. That's why it's worse crime in red states, because you have a lesser population and you have a higher crime rate. But math and statistics and fucking intelligence is something that seems to leave a lot of people. It was just like you have a higher crime rate with a lower population of people. Ain't that crazy? You got a higher crime rate with less people. Imagine the fact that California can say that they have 140% less crime than the state of Louisiana. Mind you, the state of Louisiana, I think, has like 8 million people. California has 40 million people. But you have more crime in a 8 million people state than you do in a 40 million. So it's easy to just try to switch numbers up and say that when you're only counting it in a study that only works in a certain position. I'm sorry, it's plain it's simple math, but the thing is, hey, when your education system is at the bottom of the fucking barrel in this country, it's kind of fucking difficult to try to tell and explain to somebody what per capita means. They don't know what the fuck per capita means. They probably, when you say per capita, they just probably thinking of the capital of their state. And they don't even know what the capital of their state is. They know it's a city there, and they don't know where the fuck it is. But when you say per capita, they ain't understanding what per capita means. They out here thinking like, oh shit, this is actually this. These blue states is terrible. No, bro, they got more people than you do and they got less crime. For the population that they have less crime. For the population that they have, their minimum wage is higher. For the population that they have, each one of those states has their own additional Medicaid or Medicare system on top of that. So they get what they get from the fucking federal government, and then they pass that on to everyone else. So imagine the fact that a blue state like California or New York has Medicare at the federal level or Medicaid at the federal level, and then at the state level they decided, you know what, let's add on to that. Let's add on to make sure we can take care of kids, or we can take care of people in need that need medical assistance. What red states are doing that? What red states are providing funding? What MAGA community is providing extra funding for their people? And it's funny because I started realizing and I started paying attention because I do live in a red state. And it's funny because you'll start seeing that these MAGA people are always the same ones that have like a broken windshield, their car's all fucked up, they ain't fucking driving. It was just like, bro, you winning so much that you can't even fix your car? Like, that shit don't make no fucking sense to me. Can't be that you winning so much, but you've been having a broken windshield, you live in a beat down fucking place. Like, I don't want to hear this shit. A lot of the times is that people don't know what the actual good stuff is, so they get so stuck in their negative fucking environment that they think, oh my God, these people have it better than us and it's so bad. It was like, no, you just have it worse. Nobody in this fucking country is doing great unless you're a multi-billionaire. Unless you're a multi-billionaire, what are you doing? You working right now, right? Not all of us have to work all the time, but you working right now. And now the price of everything has gone up. Tariffs has gone up. People don't want to work here. You're limiting the number of people that can come in here. You want to put a list of countries that can't come into the country. You want to remove some people's visa status or green card status. It was just like, some of these people are the ones that are working. Some of these people are the ones that are taking care of your streets. Some of these are the ones that are building your communities. Because when you have that whole new community going up, you know who's doing it. And it's just like, it's interesting to see that because you see it continue. And it's just like, wow, these people still stuck on stupid. These people still don't fucking understand. These people still don't see how all the things that they have done have caused an effect to bring this issue to a bigger stage. Because it's distractions everywhere. Everybody's getting distracted by this. Oh, just like, oh, we're sending a National Guard here. We're sending a National Guard there. We're sending them to clean up trash. We're doing this. We're doing this executive. We're making it the Department of War. Imagine how giddy some of these Republicans must have got when they heard that. Oh, we're making it the Department of War. The Department of War. Department of War. How is it that you want to make it the Department of War, but you haven't even taken care of the fucking veterans that have been through your past wars? How is that? Look, we about to get we starting conflicts. For the person that said no new wars, that was just like, everybody, oh my God. It was just like, bro, it's the Department of Defense because we're defending the country. If it's the Department of War, that means we want to start shit. And I know it's not going to be your bitch asses that fucking join the military to fucking serve this country. Y'all gonna be the same ones that fucking cry and stay behind and don't end up with fucking bone spurs why you can't fucking join the military. So I don't want to hear this nonsense, oh my God, the Department of War. But you were too bitch to join when it was the Department of Defense. Now you gonna have the balls to join when you in the Department of War? Nah, don't come with that bullshit. You can skip me with all that fucking bitch ass shit. It's just like, that's the crazy thing about it. All these MAGA and all these people that want to talk all this shit are gonna be the ones that are not gonna join the fucking military. Are gonna be the ones that don't serve their country. Are gonna be the first ones that always want to find a fucking reason to fucking skip out, or my knee hurts, I got bone spurs, I can't, I'm too bitch. Like, come on, it's gonna be the same fucking reasons. It's gonna continue and it's gonna be the same way. It was just like, because none of these people chose to serve this country when we weren't at war. Most of them are the ones that are just like, oh, my Second Amendment right, this, and that. It was just like, the thing is how do you stop them? You need to start putting pressure on your politicians. You have these people that ain't stopping them, right? The people that have the power are in Congress to stop and hold this person back. They're not doing it. Well, that's why, because people ain't doing shit about their congressman, are you? When's the last time you called them? When's the last time you emailed them? When's the last time you tried to set up a meeting with them? Oh, they haven't? Okay, I know who the fuck I'm voting out. That's it. That's it. But the problem is that too many people are gonna fall for the same gimmick. Like, oh shit, they're on my side again. Nah, fuck all that shit. The same way fucking Margarine Green Taylor, butch body, bad built bitch, that one. Now all of a sudden she wants to be part of the cause to bring all these Epstein files out and all this stuff, and now she wants to be upfront and personal about it and all this bullshit. What was this when they were actually trying to put them down? Where was this when they were trying to make sure that those stories didn't get out? Now all of a sudden she saw that she was about to lose, because the thing is every fucking Republican across the fucking country right now is concerned. Why? Because of the fact that they think that all 77 million, because you know that's their favorite number, all 77 million people that are there ain't voting the same way no more. Because I know it was a bunch of farmers. There's a bunch of farmers. They ain't getting no help. I know they ain't voting the same way when most of them are now getting close to the fact that they may have to sell their farm off because of these fucking tariffs. But I know all of them ain't voting straight fucking Republican again. But again, this happened to them in 2017, so they are stupid enough to do it again. Because they love the poorly educated. You gotta be pretty dumb to vote for your fucking own shit to be lost multiple fucking times. But that's the thing. People need to do that, and Republicans are not going to do that. Because the thing is it was just like, hey, if these people want to make it the Department of War, why don't we have an executive order that everybody, even if their kids are politicians, they're going to war too? That means all hands on deck if we're going to war, right? You already got the people in the military. That means everybody else should go. Shit, I'll sign up again. If they let me back in. But I bet you there's going to be so many people that's going to be like, oh my God, we're going to war. I got my Second Amendment right though with your bitch ass. Because that's who I want to see. I want to see all of those I want to see all of those at the recruiting office so quick. They could show up with their weapon too. Ain't going to be a problem. The recruiter ain't going to have no problem when you show up with your weapon to the recruiting office. No problem. But I want to make sure you there though. Bet you ain't going to be showing up. Bet you going to be quiet as shit. That's where MAGA, that's how you know MAGA straight bitch made. That's how you know. That's how you understand. Because of the fact that it's just like, y'all so tough with y'all Second Amendment right bullshit. But hey, here you go. You get to fucking do it yourself, right? Now you get to do it for the fucking country that you supposedly so patriotic over. The country that you support so fucking much. The party that is just like, I gotta use my Second Amendment right to defend myself from a tyrannical government, but it's awfully fucking quiet right now. You ain't notice that? The Don't Tread on Me group has awfully gotten quiet. How many of those license plates have you been seeing lately? You seen those license plates? The Don't Tread on Me bullshit? Don't tread on me, right? Don't tread on me, but I ain't gonna join the military though. Don't tread on me because I'm too bitch to actually go to war. Come on now. Come on now. You can't come up with this bullshit. They were just like, don't tread on. But they're winning, right? You're winning at what? Being a bitch? That's the only thing I've seen you winning at, being a bitch. You're winning at being a bitch. Cause first it was the man that didn't have any wars or didn't start no shit. Now he's trying to start and pop off shit all over the place. But now it's awfully quiet from the Second Amendment ones, the fucking patriotic ones. What else do we have? How many others don't we have that are so gun ho now? No? You see how awfully quiet they get. You see how awfully they don't turn into they don't like to tune into these lives because then they'd be like, they ain't winning at being bullies. They're not being bullies at that either. They're a bunch of bitches. The only problem is that they well maybe they are being bullies, but they're going after the people that they know can't defend themselves. Why you think all these bounty hunters and these ICE people are going for people at their fucking court dates? How come you haven't seen any of these bounty hunters fucking find any MS-13 or Tres de Aguas? Bitch made. That's all it is. Do I need to explain it any further? Straight bitch made. Look at how they're only going for people that can't defend themselves. You a bounty hunter, you a federal agent. Why ain't you locking up the actual criminals and all the gangsters and all the traffickers and all the people that you do? And that's what I tell people. If you run into them, the ones that have the masks on are not federal agents. Those are bounty hunters. If they are covering their face, they are bounty hunters. Because the ones that you see out in the street and you see that they don't wear masks, those are people that are legit fucking officers. If you got a fucking Timu fucking vest with a fucking mask on, that's all I got to say. But the thing is what is a person that's undocumented or a person that doesn't really deal with the police, never has any issues with them, something like that? When they have the police come towards them, they're gonna be fucking scared. Why? Because they're approaching them, they're asking them for such things. And it's just like, imagine having to be so lame that you had to make sure. My man said there's no such thing as a Timu vest. Oh, fine, my bad. You got it off of Amazon. Or you got the one off the TikTok shop. Which one you want? You got options. You got options. Because I know most of y'all broke ass people can't afford an actual vest with actual plates. So please tell me. Please tell me, right? The thing is that look at where they're going to. They're going to places where people are not able to protect themselves. Because you notice when all these communities have happened, you notice when ICE has decided, hey, we're going to go into this community, right? You notice how when that community starts retaliating back, and I wouldn't say retaliating in a violent manner, just retaliating on just doing that. It was just like you noticed that, right? Once LA started doing it, hey, you notice, oh, we're gonna send the National Guard, and the National Guard hasn't done shit over there. They sent the Marines. Remember those 200 Marines? They didn't do shit over there. And then LA is still fucking protesting. But you don't see that part. They make sure to keep that part quiet. They make sure you don't see that on your TikTok feed. You don't see that on your YouTube feed. You don't see that on the news. Why? Because they don't want to show MAGA isn't actually winning and people are actually fighting back. But that's the thing. It's easier when you're the party that supposedly was against being censored and then all of a sudden you being censored. What's up, Jeanette? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? That's just like, yeah, you got, oh, No, it don't matter if it was 200 Marines or not. You notice how they went right back to where the fuck they were? It ain't 200 Marines don't scare nobody. 1,000 Marines don't scare nobody. You talking about populations that have millions of people in an area, and you think 200 people is gonna do something? You think 2,000 people is gonna do something? Have you noticed, like, this is the thought process where it eludes people, because this is how I know most MAGA have never left their own fucking town or their state. Because if you go to New York City, you see how many people are in New York City, and you always hear about them. Oh my God, there's too many people. I can never go there. I can never go to New York City. There's too many people in New York City. And it was just like, there's 40,000 fucking police officers plus in New York City. Most MAGA don't even know where the fuck New York City is. Ask MAGA to point out where New York City is. And they're going to highlight the fucking state of New York. Not where New York City actually is. They'll just tell you, oh, this is where it's at. Because you know they dumbasses don't know no fucking geography, so they not going to be able to even tell you where these fucking locations are that they're so fucking that they so problematic with. It was just they can't tell you where these places are. They've never left their communities, and it's just like, thank you, Libido. It was just like, MAGA forgets that they were bitches for 4 years under Biden's administration and were quiet. They weren't acting tough. They acted tough when Donald Trump was in office, when they thought it was okay and cool to be racist. And then we saw what happened with those, because we just started reporting them, and all of them started losing their jobs, started losing their places, started losing their businesses, because they thought it was okay to be fucking stupid. Okay, you can be stupid, you can stay stupid. Nobody got a problem with that. So now people have come back, and Donald Trump has come back and again, and people just think it's just like, oh, we're going to be able to do what we want, say what we want. And it's just like, at the same time, you're still going to be broke. You're still going to be in the same position you were during Trump, the first administration, Biden's administration, and now another one from Trump. Because please tell me which one of y'all made it big while Donald Trump was there and then lost it while Joe Biden was there, and now all of a sudden supposedly made it big again. Meaning you never made it big in the first place. Because if you made it that big, you would have never fucking lost it during fucking Biden's administration. You would have been able to continue through Biden's administration and keep on doing what you was doing, right? But if you in the same fucking dumbass position, you were when you first got Trump, how the fuck have you been winning? You going on 9 years of fucking losing? That's wild. 9 years of fucking losing. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say? You've been losing for 9 fucking years. 9 years. And now all of a sudden you on the come up. You gonna be good. Shoo. You gonna be sitting with Trump, right? All y'all MAGA gonna be sitting in Trump. And what he gonna do, he gonna leave y'all outside in the cold like he did for your inauguration. So please tell me how y'all been winning. Please tell me what has been successful. Please tell me how raising prices is better. Tell me how making it more difficult for people to get coverage is better. Because most people haven't been paying attention, and MAGA, of course, doesn't. Because if it doesn't come out of Donald Trump's mouth or a Truth Social post, Donald Trump, they got to go crazy. It was just like, oh my God, imagine coming in here and saying, Alexander Lance McNeely, thanks for your comment. Thanks for being ignorant also and not providing anything of substance when you first joined in. Man, you sure are helping society, huh? Are you on your knees too while doing this? Because that's mostly how it is with most of y'all, that y'all just be slobbing on the knob, coming up with, got no solutions, yet you still snobbing on the knob for people that is taking away your benefits, taking away your resources, and raising your prices. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? Ain't that... How crazy is that? Wow. Imagine having to explain to somebody, "Hey, maybe this president isn't doing what he's supposed to be doing. Maybe imagine this. Imagine look, imagine think of this solution. Think of this. Imagine coming in here telling me something like that. When the president tried to sign an executive order to ban transgenders from being able to own a weapon. And you want to talk to me about solutions? You want to talk to me about solutions? Your solution is banning transgender people from having a weapon before the people that are actually doing the school shootings get banned. Please tell me a solution. Because you want me to come up with solutions, right? You want me to come up with solutions? How about your dumbass come up with an. Yeah, see, look. Now, it's funny. Funny. Can't come up to talk. Won't come up to talk. But it's going to be too fucking. Because now he's going to cry about it. Talk about all this, and that. Like, come on, bro. It was just like you just try to rage bait and you just try to gaslight people because your incompetence shows. Nobody comes in that's actually looking for a solution talking shit. That's the problem with MAGA. MAGA thinks they're gonna solve shit by talking shit, and yet they are on the sideline not getting any fucking assistance or any benefit. Cause please tell me of a solution, cause your president that you want to follow so much, right, has had how many executive orders? Which one of them has done to cut down groceries? Which one of them has been to cut prices? Which one of them has been to actually fund cancer research? Which one of them has been anything besides gerrymandering? Because gerrymandering is more important than actually taking care of the constituents. Please tell me, please elaborate. Bro, the reason why you have that, you're seeing that is because you only have no following and nobody else pays attention to your idiotic fucking takes. That's why nobody follows you. It's simple to see. It was just like, you haven't had a policy passed. It's been executive orders. And everybody's going to be like, oh my God, both sides gerrymander. Oh my gosh. How many times have you heard the Democratic Party do it in between a census session when by law it's supposed to be done during the 10-year mark after the census comes out? Funny how nobody's able to fucking provide that information because gerrymandering happens on both sides, but the president told them he needed 5 seats, so they went to gerrymander it. And how do you explain that? How do you explain that? When the president told Texas, I need 5 more seats, and they went ahead and do it, and you want to talk about that's not gerrymandering, because that's normal, right? When's the last time that any MAGA can provide any information as to when, when a Democratic president said, I need more seats from the blue states, and they went ahead and just gerrymandered it on the spot? I'll wait. I'll wait. Come on, MAGA, because y'all saying all about this bullshit. I was just like, you talking all this bullshit. It was just like, when the president tells you to do something and you do it, all of a sudden, that's crazy. That's crazy. When you have federal and states' rights, right? Because it's a federalism. Did you not know what that is? So not even you're asking Congress to work on something, to actually change the law so that everybody can do it. No, you're going to a specific state where it just so happens that it's Texas, where those blue cities have been redistricted the whole time. And you notice that it's done for population purposes by discriminating on race. Because the thing is the gerrymandering is taking place on the minority communities, not in the other communities, not in the white communities. It's being done in the minority communities and taking away their Democratic vote and usurping them into a Republican county. And that's being done halfway through a census session. But this is the one part that most Republicans and most dumbass MAGA don't know, right? You do understand that a lot of y'all have fake numbers, right? Most Republicans do, right? You notice how most Republican states have most of the prisons, or have a lot of prisons, or add more prisons? Because that population counts towards their district. So if you open up a jail and you put in 3,000 people in that jail, you now have 3,000 extra fucking people that don't even vote, but they count towards your census session. No, the thing is, it's funny that they want me to ask for solutions, but the thing is they haven't come up with anything that's actually worthwhile talking about. Because when you actually talk to them, they actually don't know what the fuck they're doing. They always go and try to make it into a semantics thing, but then it was just like, oh, so you mean to tell me most of the constituents, because you can call them constituents to them, in jail just happened to be a higher minority population. So imagine if that minority population was actually able to vote. Because, that's what it is, right? Everybody has jails, but the thing is you notice how most of those jails are not in bigger districts? Because look, in New York City, we don't have a major prison there. We got Rikers Island, and that's for the inmates that are in the city. But then everything else is upstate, which doesn't count towards the population of New York City, which still gives us a certain number of representatives. Because we don't need the extra money by just flipping shit up. He'd be like, see, now I know ignorance at its best. Ignorance at its best when they say that minorities should stop breaking the law. Imagine having a president that broke the law and isn't in jail, but you're going to tell me that minorities need to stop. Explain that one, genius. Minorities need to stop doing all the things, but then you have legitimate people breaking the law, convicted of felonies in the fucking presidency, but minorities need to stop. So is it because what? It's just like it's the ignorance of people that claim to not be MAGA, not be Republican. It's enlightening to me. It's enlightening how fragile you are. It's enlightening how stupid you are. It's enlightening how ignorant you can be. That you just see it from the Republican side and not the Democratic side also. You don't see it from both sides. You only see it from one side because it's only the liberals that do the thing. Yet, funny, you know what? It's funny, right? Hold on. You just said that minorities need to stop committing crime, right? Right? But then why is it that the states that have the highest crime rate, the minorities are the minimum amount of people there and they're minority in population? Yet Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, where was it? West Virginia, Tennessee, all those have a higher crime rate than a minority filled California or New York City. Yet the minorities got to stop the crime, right? Yet it happens on all these places, right? No. This is the prime example of how fucking naive and how ignorant these people are. So when you have representative of Utah, Senator Stuart Adams, When he decides to change the law because his nephew, at the age of 18, raped a 13-year-old, and he changes the law so he doesn't have to do 25 years, which is a first degree felony, and register as a sex offender, he changes the law so that his relative could fucking end up only doing no jail time and not registering as a sex offender. And please tell me how the justice system fucking works correctly. You had the other one that just happened like 2 weeks ago. Just so happens again. Utah. Camden Dale. Another one that committed something that I can't speak on here, but all of a sudden does not have to register as a sex offender. You know why? Because we don't want to mess up the future of this kid. Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. Ain't that crazy? Republicans just be like, they must be pro crime. Because the thing is you can't tell me you want to talk about the justice system as a Republican, but ain't got no problem with a convict being in the fucking White House. Your ignorance and your statement is null and void. Null and void. If you don't got a problem with there being a convicted felon in the White House, don't talk to me about law and order. Whatever statement you make just goes out the fucking window because of your stupidity. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. You broke the law. You have no problem with somebody that broke the law, but then you're the same ones that'll be mad at undocumented immigrants. Let me get this straight. So a person that committed fraud, broke the law, same law, because this is the law across the thing. Fraud is fraud, especially when you're convicted in court. But the biggest problem is that immigrant that crossed the border, and it's a civil offense, not even a felony. So you mean to tell me these undocumented immigrants can receive a civil offense and be worse than a person that convicted of a felony? Mm, mm. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? Everything they stand for is fucking bullshit. You know what's funny? This administration has fucking found everybody to fucking try to fucking investigate. And you notice how they haven't been able to find anything on these people? They still digging. They're just accusing them to make it seem like they did something wrong, but then there's no proof. How long has this been going on? This man has been in office for what, 8 months now? And you mean to tell me there hasn't been any, and I mean any evidence towards the people that he's gone against? That's crazy. You've been going after these people for 8 months and you still haven't been able to find any legible, credible proof to provide to show what you're charging them with. That's crazy. They still haven't found it? Because that would be, because you know why? You know why I know they haven't found it? Because that would be the first thing that fucking MAGA would make sure to fucking announce. MAGA would fucking make sure it's breaking fucking news across every fucking Republican outlet to make sure, like, oh my God, yes, this is what happened. This is, we found the evidence. But damn, they awfully quiet about the Epstein list, huh? You can find supposed evidence of other people, but then the evidence that you already have on hand. Imagine already having the evidence on hand and somehow it disappears. It disappeared too? That disappeared too? That just happened to fucking not be in existence, right? That's crazy. You still haven't been able to find any credible evidence. But then when we actually have credible evidence, all of a sudden y'all don't know what it is. Okay. You know what's funny? It's funny how Alexander here. This is what I'm gonna tell yo dumbass real quick. I'm gonna tell this so yo dumbass can understand and maybe shut the fuck up. Mike Johnson just said that Donald Trump was an FBI informant to take down Jeffrey Epstein. So how is Donald Trump not in the Epstein files? How is Donald Trump not in the Epstein files when Mike Johnson just confirmed and said that he was an FBI informant? How are you not in the files if you were an FBI informant? Then you know what? You know what's funny? You know what I find interesting? You know what I find interesting that the person holding the files, the person that said they had the files, the person that said that they were going to release the files, all of a sudden keeps on talking about why are people asking about it, why people continue to talk about it. You got Mike Johnson saying he's an FBI informant. Then you have the DC. Oh, did you not hear that snippet of the DC what is it, the DOJ person that they caught on a hot mic that they were asking a question to somebody and the person didn't know who it was, and they asked him, was like, do they have the files? And the guy said yes, they do have the files. And what are they gonna do? They're probably gonna redact all the Republican names and leave the Democrats. The shit came out of the DOJ staffer himself. And bro, the only thing, you know what is funny to me? MAGA, for some reason, never has seen a crime fucking show. Never seen The Wire. Never seen any kind of show where they have a fucking informant. And what happens with the informant? The informant gets turned. Why? Because they got caught doing this shit and they was just like, yo, we'll give you a deal. You won't get no jail time as long as you help us bring that person down. And you want to be ignorant, MAGA? That's not a crime. That's not a crime, I guess. That's not a crime. imagine, and then also having the video of Jeffrey Epstein when they asked him in his interview. They asked him directly. They were like, "Hey, did you?" He asked. They asked him. The first question is, Did you have a relationship with like Donald Trump? Like you hung out with him?" And he's like, "Yes." It was like, "Did you ever, in the presence of with Donald Trump, have any minors under the age of 18?" And what did my man quick to do? My man was just like, "Yo, I'm gonna plead the 4th, 5th, and 14th on this question." I was like, that's wild. Why would you have to plead the 5th? And why wouldn't you be able to say no, that you weren't in the presence, knowing that you were a trafficker, yet you couldn't say no, he wasn't in the presence like that? Oh, just like you can tell, I need what I need MAGA to do is hey, what shows, if anything, y'all, since y'all ain't here, please tell me what shows have an informant in it. Just tell me about any shows that have an informant in it. Just tell me. Tell me any shows. I think I'm gonna start making a list of all the shows that have a informant and then having it that they like find the episode where they show it was like, oh, this person got caught doing what he was doing and then they turned him. The only place where being an informant is a good thing. What the fuck? No, yeah. When's the last time? This is why MAGA just be fucking so fucking stupid. When's the last time you heard an informant did it for the kindness of their heart? When was the last time? When was the last time you heard an informant decided to become a snitch? Because it was the best thing to do. It was like you can't become an informant without snitching. Because that's what I'm going off of what Mike Johnson said, the Speaker of the House. I'm not coming up with bullshit because that's what MAGA likes to say. The thing is MAGA has no way to contradict that. How you going to tell me, Alexander, answer why Mike Johnson says that fucking Donald Trump was an informant getting Donald Trump, but somehow he's not in the Epstein files? If he was an informant, imagine that. If he was an informant, you know, the good one that did it out of the kindness of his heart, why would he have a problem releasing the fucking files? Because it would clearly say that Donald Trump was the reason that Jeffrey Epstein got locked up if he was supposedly the informant. Nobody would have a problem with that. If he was the informant, he would be in there. That would be the best proof we have to show that he didn't do anything. But then people that actually know what an informant is. Everybody knows what an informant is. You don't become an informant because you don't know anything or you didn't do anything. It was like, damn, they must have caught him in the same places doing the same shit, and they figured, you know what? We can get to you. You got a lot more to lose. You got your whole legacy, your whole thing to lose. If we catch you as an informant, that's crazy. And you see, this is the ignorance. It was just like when dealing with the informant, they have immunity. They don't have full immunity as an informant. There's no such thing as full immunity. You know why there's no such thing as full immunity? Because they've already been caught. They're not going to get full immunity. They've already been caught doing something. They already have them on charges. It's just like, yo, you don't produce us more information, you gonna get locked up. Ma- MAGA, MAGA believes that you became an informant out of the kindness of your heart. MAGA believes that they become an informant and then all of a sudden they end up in the witness protection program. Have y'all seen Better Call Saul? Y'all seen that show too? Y'all ain't see that one? He became an informant because it was out of the kindness of his heart, right? Out of the kindness of his heart. Better Call Saul. Hey, no, he just became an informant because, you know, he didn't do nothing wrong. Crazy, right? Crazy? No? No, you didn't watch that part? Oh, that was the part of the series you missed, right? Because of your ignorance, right? Yo! it, no, I'm just saying, watch any crime fucking series that has any informant in it. And please tell me which one did it because they found them to want to help. Mind you, why would you get picked as an informant if you supposedly don't know anything? Meaning you were in those circles, meaning you were in those areas, meaning that you were there when these things happened and you never reported it before. Crazy, isn't it? Imagine, imagine asking, why do you believe TVs and shows? Bro, you watching the fucking Fox News fucking administration. Half of the people in this administration works for Fox News. And you want to talk about a production? You want to talk about production? You want to talk about who made the shows? Fox News is all over this administration, but somehow can't seem to find the fucking information that's right in front of them. I'm st- I'm still waiting to find an informant that did it out of the kindness of their heart. Which informant do you know was in a location that they shouldn't have been at, but instead of just reporting it to the fucking FBI or to the police, you became an informant? The math ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing, is it? Exactly. If you're an informant, you kept yourself clean because you gave up information as to what you were already doing and you were caught doing. It was just like, imagine that you're gonna say, "Oh my God, Donald Trump, once he found this out, kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago, but we're still hanging out with him." That's crazy, ain't it? You kicked him out the place, but then I didn't know. I just became a snitch because snitching was the thing to do. I guess that's what you that's never never seen that. Never even seen that. It was just like, imagine not even being like, even maybe if y'all would have said he was like undercover or some shit, like on a sting or something, but no, he was an informant. See, now that's the ignorance you gotta love. You're gonna say you were an informant to destroy his rivals, yet his rivals were in sex trafficking, because that's who he went after. So how do you explain that? He wanted to destroy the people he knew around him, right? His competition, because that's your ignorant fucking take. That's your ignorant fucking take. So he was taking out the other sex trafficker? That's what he was doing? I'm just trying to get clarification because you got these dumbasses that come in here coming with this fucking nonsense. It's just like, bro, do you listen to the stupidity that comes out of your mouth? That's wild. Imagine that. Imagine that you wanted to take out your competition. I'm tired of this dumbass. You gotta be a certain level of stupid to be a MAGA troll and then just be that ignorant that you can't fucking understand that you are stupid. I was like, I'm gonna say it because you're stupid, and then you get soft because I'm calling you stupid. It was like, no, y'all bitch made. That's it. Y'all straight bitch made. Y'all straight stupid. There's no underlying factor. There's no fucking other. It was just like y'all that dumb and gullible that y'all gonna be like, oh my god, he was an informant, so he was doing a good thing. Do you know what an informant is? You know what it is? MAGA probably heard informant and they just thought it was giving information. That's probably the outcome. That's what most likely is. That MAGA just believes that it was just like that's what they had. Yeah, crazy, crazy. Imagine being that soft as MAGA and not knowing what per capita means. Not per your capital, per capita crime. Imagine being MAGA and not knowing what an informant is, just thinking that you gave information. They must have attributed those two words as like informant, information. And I was just like, damn, that's crazy. You notice how crazy that is? That is just like as an informant, you would be giving up information because you got caught doing the same act. You don't become an informant for a sex trafficking ring if you weren't part of the sex trafficking ring. If you had no knowledge, no whereabouts, or nothing about this, why would they come to you? MAGA, explain that. Explain that. Explain that. Out of the kindness of your heart, you decided, you know what? I'm going to snitch on somebody that I have no idea what they were doing. Make that make sense. Make that part make sense. Just make that make sense. No, no, Mega seems to be quiet on this fact that it's just like their own talking points just get fucking crumbled with their own stupidity. Imagine fucking thinking that an informant means they gave up information. Like I said, it was just like, Mega, explain to me why he became an informant then. Because imagine being approached because of the fact that it's just like, yo, I heard you know Cruz. Cruz talks a lot on his fucking podcast or on his fucking lives. We got to make sure to say this. And I was like, you got any info on him? And I was just like, yeah, I speak on another podcast. And that's the only information you're going to get, right? It's not even that they know damn well he was an informant. Because the thing is a lot of these people, a lot of these people don't realize that. A lot of people don't know what an informant is. The, you know what's funny to me? The, you know, this is another thing that makes me laugh. Imagine being from a red state that is so concerned with the crime in a democratic state, yet somehow doesn't know what a fucking informant is. Make that make sense. Explain that one for me. You so concerned and worried and fucking thought of fucking all the crime in the blue states in Chicago, California, New York, but you don't know what an informant is? I'm just trying to. I just want clarification, y'all. That's all I want is just clarification. Somebody clarify for me how the fuck they got from point A to point B and didn't realize that shit. That's where I'm kind of confused. That's the part that I'm trying to figure out. How the fuck do you have such a problem with so much crime in these other states, yet you don't know what an informant is? So how the fuck do you know what the crime is in another state if you never fucking been there? So you never been to the state, don't know what an informant is. Do you know what the fucking crime is that they're saying there is? Because last I checked, in Washington, D.C., the biggest fucking crime offenders they had were whoever was fucking littering on the streets. Because they had them National Guard people fucking cleaning up all that trash. Those had to be the biggest fucking crime offenders we found. Let me guess, somebody was informing the National Guard who was throwing the trash on the ground. That's what they was doing? That's how they were getting people locked up? Somebody explain it to me. I'm lost. I'm at a loss of words right now because it's just like, damn, he a snitch. Like what are we talking about here? The dude is a snitch. Like, yo, my man just said it in a fucking clearer and nicer way. Just like, he was an informant. No, bro, he was a fucking snitch. And he was caught doing what he was snitching on. So that's how he became a fucking informant. You don't become an informant and snitch on people just for shits and giggles. Just because, you know what? This is the right thing to do. This is the right thing to do, that I'm going to just put myself in this situation that I have no idea what's fucking going on. But somehow I'm going to be able to get and give reliable information. Somebody explain it to me. And anybody got any reasonable, like, I'm trying to think, and the thing is I'm thinking kind of hard to just try to produce a, like, even a plausible thought process that would think that him being an informant was a good thing to say for Mike Johnson, and then hiding the list. Ain't that crazy? I'm just trying to find, just like, because the thing is this is the thing, right? If you were an FBI informant, that means that there's information on you being that FBI informant. Is that the Epstein files that they don't want to release? Because remember, they released everything else, but when it came to the names and everything else, they decided, you know what? We ain't gonna touch it. So is it the documentation that says Donald Trump was an informant? Is that the stuff they're hiding? Because you saw how the witnesses came and they spoke out on it. It was just like, everybody's like, oh my God, the files that the Democrats are on. Yeah, because the Republicans just happen to be hiding it and voted consecutively not to produce the files. But the Republicans ain't on it, right? But then you confirmed from Mike Johnson that he's an informant. So if you're an informant and build a case against a person, that means you would be in the files having testimony, having information that led to the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein, correct? Because that's how it would work, if that's what y'all telling me. So he was an informant that had information on Jeffrey Epstein, and that's what got him locked up, and that's why Mike Johnson said that he was an informant. That's crazy. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy how MAGA still doesn't know what an informant is. I'm just, please, one of y'all clarify what an informant is, because I had one idiot already tried to say, oh my God, it was because just because they're an informant doesn't mean they did something wrong. What? When was the last time you seen anybody decide to become an informant because they wanted to become an informant? They wanted to get into a situation where it was the law being broken, or a situation where kids were being abused and trafficked, and instead of you calling the cops on them or fighting them or stopping it, you decided to become an informant. Notes, it's not typically. An informant is a snitch, plain and simple. Plain and fucking simple. There's no typically. If you became an informant, you snitched, and you were caught doing whatever it is you became an informant for. Now I understand, Notes. It's okay. You can try to be nice. Ain't no need to be nice here. There's no need to sugarcoat shit here. There's no need to sugarcoat shit. Cause the thing is all I'm talking on is facts. These are all facts. I'm going off of what Mike Johnson said, and I'm going off of common knowledge of everybody that has some sort of education and isn't ignorant and isn't naive, that they know that if you became an FBI, imagine the FBI informant. Not even like low level, an FBI informant. And you mean to tell me, so my question is, so this is it. So my question to y'all is how come Bill Clinton didn't become an informant? He was president too. How come Bill Clinton wasn't approached to become an informant? How come anybody else on that list wasn't made or attached to the fact that it was just like they were an informant? A snitch is a snitch. How come no other person that has been named or has been associated was asked to be an informant? Obama was on it supposedly, right? Why didn't they ask him to be a snitch? Bill Clinton was on it. Why didn't they ask him to be a snitch? Donald Trump is president too. Why didn't they ask him to be? Well, oh, they did ask him to be a snitch. My bad. Only person that they decided to ask was Donald Trump, right? And Donald Trump was the only one that had nothing to do with it, but was always partying with the guy, always around the guy, always around Ghislaine Maxwell as well. Because if you had Epstein there, you had Maxwell there. Yet you were partying with them, and that's why you just because they saw you with them all the time, you partied with them all the time. Out of the kindness of your heart, let's have you do that. I don't know who's on the list because they've been hiding it. He met the first lady through Maxwell. So how do we know that Ghislaine Maxwell wasn't? Well, not his wife wasn't trafficked. How do we know that? Nothing. Quiet as always. It's always the same thing. Quiet. That's crazy. So not only do you support a person that has been convicted in civil lawsuits of sexual assault, you also support a snitch. Y'all credibility just keeps going down, 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 and down, MAGA. It's like the more you support them, the more foolish you look. You have a convicted felon, which has been proven. You have sexual assault that has been accused and proven. And he's been clarified by Mike Johnson to be a snitch. Like, damn. That's crazy. Your own Speaker of the House, because remember how we said it? He was like, yeah, we spoken about this all the time. Me and Donald Trump have spoken all the time, and he wants to get the list out and he wants to make sure that the victims is okay. Who does he consider the victims? Because if it were about the victims, he would be supporting those that were outside talking, wouldn't he? He would be telling them, hey, it's okay for y'all to come out and speak on this, wouldn't he? I'm just confused. It's just like, man, that's what I always say because it's funny because it's always the same one. It's always the same ones. Always the same ones. The same ones that if you ask them if they condemn pedophiles, get quiet and leave the chat. You know what? Let's do that again. Let's do that again. I haven't done that in a couple of days because they banned me because this kind of talk is not thing. So Democrats, liberals, progressives, just hit the like button for me. Just hit the like button for me. Don't type so that MAGA and Republicans have the whole floor. Just hit the like for me. MAGA, Republicans, because I know y'all in here listening. Do you condemn pedophiles? Yes or no? And do you agree with the age of consent being 14? Yes or no? Now, let's just hit the like. Everybody else just hit the like. And let's wait for all the Republicans to answer this question. Remember, everybody that said anything against what I was saying, I want them to answer those two questions. It's a just simple answer. Because you came in here talking all this shit, just simple answer. Hey Dems, y'all still hitting that like? Y'all still Dem libs everything that isn't MAGA Republican. Damn, that's crazy. Notice how it happens again. Every single time I've done this in every single one of my lives, which Republican or MAGA that was talking shit to me the whole fucking time answered? Because that's why I say to make sure. That's why I say make sure just keep hitting the likes because I want them to have the whole floor. Because on your phone you could only see maybe 3 or 4 lines, so I don't want it to go skipped. I don't want it to go missing, right? I don't want them to not be seen. I want them to be represented, right? Why is it that they can't answer such a fucking simple question? You seen how other ones kept on saying some other shit, but they couldn't answer the question. So they were here for when I asked that question, but somehow could not answer the fucking question. Crazy. You notice how they're still talking and they still haven't answered the question. Let me guess. Hold on. Look, you know what, you know what it is. Let me guess. Y'all all informants too, right? Y'all all informants. That's what it is. Y'all all informants. So y'all can't criminalize yourself by answering a question that you should have no hesitation answering, right? All informants. Everybody else, I appreciate all the likes. Now, for everyone that didn't, MAGA Republicans decided not to ask. Hey, Democrats, liberals. Hey, MAGA, now you can go hit the like. I know you're not going to, but hey, Democrats. It's funny. It's funny how IRC comes in here saying that he's crazy that he did that in a live before. So you were here when that happened, and yet here you are again, not answering the question. So you just calling yourself out. Are you snitching? Are you informing on yourself? That's wild. I've never seen that one before. I've never seen somebody inform on themselves and not be able to answer a specific fucking question. You know how crazy that is? How you snitch on yourself when you first come into the live? That's crazy. You see, and you notice how the number of people in the live went down. We were at 85. Then all of a sudden, I asked questions as to, hey, Republicans, do you condemn pedophiles? And all of a sudden, they started leaving. Ain't that crazy? We were at 85 people, so there was at least 14 pedophiles in here that couldn't condemn them. Ain't that crazy? I guess they were all fucking informants. You see how simple it is? You see how simple that is, y'all. That's just hey, if you have a live, do the same thing. If you got a whole bunch of MAGA in there, boom, just hit them with that question. And if they can't answer, it's simple to say. Because anybody that you pick and you ask them, hey, do you condemn pedophiles? The quick answer and the only answer is yes. There shouldn't be any back talk. It shouldn't matter who the fuck side they're supposedly on. If they're Democratic or Republican, castrate them, unalive them, or put them through a jail. That's it. That's the only fucking acceptable statement. But you want to argue with me about it. Funny how y'all listening comprehension skills is fucking irrelevant, cause damn, it was a yes or no question. Like Mira said, it was a yes or no question. Yes or no question, and they said, "Oh, but the Democrats do it." I didn't say I was okay with any pedophile. I asked if you condemned them. I'm still waiting, y'all. Anybody? Anybody seen any MAGA reply? So it's just like, somehow you don't condemn pedophiles. Somehow you don't know what a snitch is. Somehow you don't know what an informant is. Somehow you don't know what fucking crime is, because somehow you haven't noticed that the president sitting in office right now is a 34 count convicted felon. So you don't know what a felon is. You don't know what crime is. You don't know how to condemn a pedophile, but you can identify a fucking illegal or undocumented person. That's wild. That is wild. You know how wild that is? Know how wild that is? You know how wild that is? That somehow you can tell me that Donald Trump being an informant was okay. Yo, you can only come up with this level of stupidity in, like, I don't know where you find this shit. I really don't know where you find this level of stupidity that is just like, yo, how did you come up with the fact that it's just like, see, that's the thing, MS. That's the thing. Right now, I'm also streaming. I usually don't, but I'm streaming because this was supposed to be a veteran workshop. But y'all got me worked up with this whole thing. So it was just like, I'll still answer questions for any veterans. If you got any questions, just shoot them out. I'll answer any questions, as always, no problem. But this is just a topic to talk on because these are things that influence care. Imagine saying opinions are just that, not facts. But the fact that Mike Johnson stated that Donald Trump was an FBI informant. Imagine talking about facts. So, is Mike Johnson a liar? Is that what you're stating? You can't tell me that everybody's just not... Is everybody lying? Because it starts getting even more questionable. Because then the thing is when you hear it from an actual Republican, it's a lie. But then when it comes from Donald Trump, it isn't a lie. But then that Republican is on his knees the whole time for Donald Trump. And yet somehow what he said is not fact. So so now what? Now let me guess. MAGA's gonna tell me that Mike Johnson was lying about Donald Trump being an informant. That's who y'all go to is now. Cause he put that information out there. Cause remember, he said he spoke about it all the time. Cause the thing is the crazy part is that they always want to talk about protecting the victims, right? Protecting the victims. Protecting the victims. Protecting the victims. That's the same thing in the ongoing speech that Mike Johnson has said, every Republican has said, everybody that doesn't want the list to just already come out has said that they are doing it to protect the victims. Why can't you just redact the victims' names? If you want to protect the victims. Because clearly the victims are out in the front fucking lawn saying that they want the shit released. So clearly, the victims actually went outside the White House lawn and said, we want the list released, right? So they're not concerned with the list coming out because they're coming out themselves. So please tell me how. Because it's funny. It's just like whenever you start pointing out these things, it's just like everything is a lie. Everything is bad. Everything is fucking terrible. Whenever you start calling them out on their stupidity and their ignorance for fucking not having any critical fucking thinking skills. Don't have any critical thinking skills to actually fucking acknowledge, like, hey, if you were an FBI informant, you were in on the shit. That's it. You were part of the crime. That's why you became a fucking informant. It wasn't because you just decided to get picked, because that would mean that they could have gone to anybody else that's on that list and they would have said, shit, Representative Massey, one of the Republicans that is actually pushing for the shit to be pushed out, dropped the name of a fucking billionaire that's been dropping, I guess I guess the fucking Massey got so mad at the fact that one of these people on the list was running ads against him in his state so that he can lose, and he put his name out on blast. It's the information is out there. The thing is that they're hiding the name. Imagine this, because remember what came out that Jeffrey Epstein gave two payments, one of 100,000 and one of 250,000 to two different people. But they don't want the Department of Justice in this administration doesn't want to release that information. So you mean to tell me there's bank accounts showing that Jeffrey Epstein made two payments to two people before this whole fiasco started with him, but the Department of Justice feels like they don't have to give that information? Why would you hide that? Why would you hide that? I'm trying to figure out why would you hide that information? Why wouldn't you want that information to come out? Why wouldn't you want the information to show that you were an informant? This man has done everything to try to take away the attention. He sent the fucking National Guard to DC. He's sending the National Guard to fucking Chicago. He wants to send the fucking National Guard to New York, California. He wants to do all this shit. And it was just like, look, you fucking crayon eater. I could already tell you fucking dumb as shit with USMC on it. You eat crayons, my dude. Critical thinking is not your fucking forte. Plain and simple. Because if you knew and if you actually did some fucking analytical fucking thinking, you would have actually realized that what? Oh shit. Jeffrey Epstein was convicted in 2019. Damn, who was president then? And that's why you're a fucking crayon eater. Sit the fuck out on this one, bro. The intelligence level that you have is not on par to come into these conversations. Because you didn't ask nothing when Jeffrey Epstein got convicted in 2019. Mind you, he got convicted in August of 2019, which meant that Donald Trump was president from 2019, from 2017 all the way to 2021. So he had 2019, 2020, the beginning of 2021, and he didn't come up with shit. Ain't that crazy? Imagine this. Imagine that the whole world was shut down in 2020 and nobody was doing shit, and you had the ability to put that information out to everybody while everybody was stuck at home wearing masks. Wild, isn't it? Wild. See how that deductive reasoning just goes out the window? That's why I said if you're gonna come in here, the funny thing is that they always have these what about isms, and the thing is they come in here thinking that, oh my god, this is this is, I'm a cook with this. And then it's just like this shit just gets shredded to fucking pieces because of how ignorant and stupid they are. They can't actually think like, oh my god, maybe if I thought this and this actually worked. No, you dumb fuck. He was an informant. An informant means he was snitching. An informant means he was part of the crime that they found him doing. So they found him and he was the fucking most piece of shit one that was able to turn, and they made him snitch. Cause you know this man is scared to fucking do jail time. Look at the fact that how scared he was to go to Vietnam. Said as a Marine, let me say you can eat a veggie MRE for comparing that guy to us. I didn't say all crayon eaters. Some of y'all's cool. But there's those that are just straight crayon eaters. The ones that hit the whole array of the crayon box, not the ones that like the fucking red and the blue. It was just like, it's crazy to me as a fucking veteran and then dealing with other veterans and service members, how they so fucking swallow this man's nuts when he drafted Oh no, he got dodged from being drafted multiple times. I was just like, how do you support a person that ran away from what you and I put our hand up and swore to fucking do? That's crazy to me. That's that's the craziest part when it comes to dealing with ignorant veterans. That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. You voted for Vance because he was a PAO officer? Come on, bro. That dude didn't even go through the suck like you probably did. This dude was talking shit about another fucking service member in the army. Like, I understand we talk shit to each other between services. That's an acknowledgeable thing. But it's only like talking shit, not trying to put down somebody's service, not trying to say that they weren't worth it. It was just like, look, here you have another MAGA Republican that has his fucking flag there and then has a fucking Hispanic flag there, but I bet you's too bitch to join the military. That's crazy. The same ones that are just like, oh my God, you're crying, this, and that, were the same bitches that couldn't join the military. Ain't that crazy? Yeah, I know you were New York Puerto Rican for Trump. I could already tell. But you weren't joining the military, huh? Ain't that crazy? That imagine being a second class citizen. Yo, did you catch that? That's what it is. That's where I recognize you from. You the dude that caught the fucking paper towel when he fucking COVIDed it to you, right? That's who you are? Got you. You have to clean up all the slobber you left on him. Got him, bro. Got you. I understand now. It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. Imagine saying that you educated enough to get a master's and a career, but you support a pedophile and a convict. Damn, that's some sort of education. Let me guess. This is where you went to, huh? Hold on, I got something for you. Does your fucking graduation certificate look something like this? Something like that, right? That's what it looks like. That's what it definitely. That's that, yep. Crazy, crazy. You must have graduated from that university to fucking be so intelligent to understand that it was just like, nah, bro. They entertaining you because you still here on my nuts. That's wild. That's wild. I'm not Trump, bro. You can jump off. It's just like, you know what you can do? Why don't you become an informant? I think that'll be classic. Why don't you become an informant and snitch on your own people? Because that's all you got left, right? You ain't got nothing else. What else have you gained from being a Puerto Rican and under this administration? Yo, imagine coming in here and the first thing you're looking at is my lips. Bro, if you in the closet, just come out. You're welcome in these channels. In this channel, you're welcome. I don't care if you're part of the LGBTQ plus community. You could just say that as your first statement instead of trying to look at my lips the whole time. The first thing you come in and look at, I was like, it's okay, bro. If that's how you roll, I don't roll that way, but it's okay. That's crazy. Yo, imagine thinking that you're actually worth something, but nobody pays attention to you. That's crazy. That's crazy. Remember, you know how quiet he got? My man said, I'm uncomfortable. You made me uncomfortable with that fucking statement. Fuck all that. You made me uncomfortable. That sounds like you trying to approach me or something or trying to take me out on a date. That's wild. My man said it's called. it's not even that. It's the thing is the LGBTQ plus black community calls it ranking. Because I don't know of any straight men that classify ranking by looking at another man's lips. That's new to me. I've no, that is a new one for me. I've never heard that before. That is some like other type shit. Just like these people, you know what the crazy thing about MAGA is and Republicans is that they're so uncomfortable in their own skin that they have to push out to somebody else. That's crazy. Like they're so uncomfortable as a dash nobody nowhere and not even in the LGBTQ plus community do they do a ranking off of your lips. Bro, you need to start getting. I was about to say something, but I chose not to. Yo, some people be fucking wild as fuck. Me coming on here just like, bro, if you can't get a date in real life, you ain't gonna get one on TikTok. That's just word of advice. That's just word of advice. If that's your tactic, I can tell why you mad. I can understand why you mad. We can all see why you mad. Imagine having that kind of discussion, man. It's just like the crazy thing is just like these people come in here and the thing is that they think they deserve respect and they think they deserve answers and they think they deserve legitimate conversations when most of these people don't know what the fuck they talking about. Most of these people have no idea what they talking about. Most of these people just basically are on somebody else's nuts and they just want to listen to what somebody else is saying, and because it sounds smarter than anything they can think of, they just regurgitate it and then try to say it again. Because you're not going to tell me that you thought you're like, the craziest thing about this is like, I'm the one that's live. So there's no fucking like delete, pause or anything like that. Y'all watching me live. You actually sat down, were watching me on your phone, on tablet or whatever, and decided this is the message I'm going to type out. That's wild. Yo, what up, Soggy? I'm educated about this. That's wild. Yo, Maccabee, yo, I like make this shit make sense, man. It was just like you sat there and actually typed it. You probably read it again and you hit send and you thought, you know what? This is a good statement to start my conversation with. This is what's actually gonna get my attention. It did get my attention because it was weird as hell. But then to try to fucking, because the thing is, that's the other thing with MAGA. Besides being bitch made, because the thing is, I bet you because the Department of War started, I bet you none of them is signing up to fucking go enlist. That should have been the first sign for all these patriotic MAGA Republicans to just jump in line, right? Shouldn't you be at the recruiting office right now? Y'all hype as hell talk about Department of War, but your bitch ass is gonna stay at home. Like, come on, bro. What you? It was just like these people think that it's just like, oh, if there happens to be another war, right? And they fucking send people out, right? And they have a draft, right? Who do you think they gonna draft? I'm just trying to figure out who do you think they're gonna draft? Because it ain't gonna be for any of the people that you voted for. They ain't gonna send any of the people you voted for. So who they gonna send? Who you think is just happens to go there? They gonna make sure to be like, I need your support. You are my MAGA Republican loyalist. I need you to show support and join the military to defend our country. Quick as shit to fucking hide, huh? Quick as shit. Because the funny thing is These same MAGA people that most of them are the tough guys, bro, you have been in enlistment age for probably over a decade, yet you never joined. Shit, you were around when fucking we were still in Afghanistan and fucking Iraq. And your bitch ass didn't join. So please, please, sidestep me with your bullshit. That goes for anybody. If you're gonna talk shit on anything and you haven't joined or decided to join and you were the gun ho, I'm Second Amendment, I'm tough and all this shit, why ain't you join the military? Why ain't you get deployed to Iraq, Afghanistan? Why ain't you deploy at all? Why ain't you join? Let me guess, you were stuck back home being an informant in your neighborhood, huh? That's what you was doing? Being an informant? Cause it's crazy because the thing is they don't say nothing. They don't say anything like that. It's just like diversity, equity, and inclusion. Deja, you right. We don't have that, so we don't need that in the military, right? So we don't need the women, and then we don't need the minorities in the military, right? That's what you're saying. So if you're not gonna have minorities, and you don't really want women in combat roles, who else do you got left? I, I'm just trying to figure this out because the shit ain't like with MAGA. That's the thing. The shit doesn't add up. And you know MAGA ain't going on the front lines. They can't even go to the front lines now. Look at how tough they are. Like, oh my God, we're ready to combat crime. But they haven't combated crime in their own fucking city or state. How you so ready to go? You so ready to go and defend crime, but your fucking streets is still full of crime. That shit don't make sense. They just don't. You got higher crime rates in all these Republican states, yet the Republican National Guard in those states haven't sent the National Guard into their own states. Am I missing something? They quick to want to send them to a Democratic state or a Democratic city, but then a Republican city that has worse crime. I'm just saying you can't come up with this nonsense anymore. It's just stupid. Damn, look, this dude left. Imagine coming in back. You were here first. Then you left when I asked if you condemn pedophiles. Now all of a sudden you came back. Ain't that crazy? Crazy, isn't it? It's like you have to change the subject for the pedophiles to start trying to come back into the live, and then when you call them out again, it was just like, oh shit, he remembered me. Like, come on. I was just like, yeah. The interesting part is that the thing is that most Republicans and most MAGA don't understand that liberals and other people also are Second Amendment users. They're not the only ones. They think that they're the only ones that decide to go buy weapons. Like that's the ignorance of it. Like the lack of critical thinking from these people is what's gonna make this interesting. Because these people just think they're just gonna go up to people and people are not gonna be prepared for it. These people think that it was back in the 60s where everybody wanted to go the Martin Luther King solution. People ain't about that no more. People ain't about that. People ain't about being a pacifist anymore when they know a person is just trying to be an aggressor. People ain't with it no more. People are not just gonna blatantly allow people to come at them and attack them and not do nothing back. That's just not gonna happen anymore. See, here goes another one. I was like, this is what I love to see. I love to see how another grown ass man calls another man a beta and they're supposedly an alpha. When any actual alpha or any actually grown ass man will never call another man a beta because he already knows he's weaker than him. You're not a concern, bro. You're not a threat. If you're calling me a beta, you can't even show your actual picture on your fucking thing. We can already tell you bitch made. That's critical thinking for you. It's understandable. We don't like it's simple fucking deduction. Like you come in here thinking you tough and all that, never served in the military, never did anything. You got people here that come in looking for attention because they don't have anything. Imagine talking about another person having attention, yet you here trying to seek attention from me. You didn't think that one through, did you? That didn't process through your head, right? But it makes sense. Y'all don't process anything that goes through your fucking head because nothing makes sense. I was just like, you come in to talk to another grown ass man and you can't even pay attention to what you're stating yourself. Like, that's crazy, isn't it? It was like, it's only MAGA that does that. Only MAGA thinks that it was just like, oh my God, I'm cooking them with this one. I was just like, damn, that's just sad. Like, it gets to the point where you just get sad with these people. Like, you have to think, like, damn, we in the fucking United States of America and we got this many bitches in the fucking country. That's crazy. That's crazy. And you got to look at it like that. I was just like, we got all these bone spurs running around. Ain't that crazy? We got all these informants. All these informants, right? Because that's what all of y'all are now. That's what I'm going to call y'all, snitches. Bunch of snitches. Bunch of bitches. That's it. That's crazy. That's crazy. The same ones that, like it's like, can you run off a list of what you've been winning so far since you won? Just a list. Anything. Yo, Mir, no, what I don't understand is imagine going onto another adult's live to just talk shit because nobody talks to you. That's the crazy part. You have these people that come in and it's just like you come in to talk shit to another grown man as another grown man to bitch and complain about the fact that I'm not working. Did you realize it was Sunday? I don't work anyway, but did you realize it was Sunday? Or were you that stupid that you didn't understand that? Is it difficult to understand the days of the week? Is it difficult to understand what the Constitution says? Is it difficult to understand there's amendments to the Constitution? Is it difficult to understand what tariffs are? Is it difficult to understand that trickle down economics doesn't work? Is it difficult to understand that? Yeah, well, it's definitely difficult to understand that you're stupid. That's an easy one that I was able to fucking conclude. But it's just like all this information out there, all this stuff, and it's just like, damn, the ability to use your actual brain didn't exist. Your ability to actually comprehend doesn't exist. For most of y'all, the ability to actually read makes no sense. Because the thing is you could tell some of these people, see, Deja, this is one of the things. One of the times you can tell that these people don't know how to read is that most of the time somebody else in the chat will answer their stupidity for them. Some of y'all just do the answering for me. But you know they can't read, so they don't even pay attention to it. They think that it's just like, oh my god, if I keep on telling him something, if I keep on telling him something, he's gonna pay attention to me. I'm gonna get points. Well, what did you want? A gold star too? Probably the highest fucking education level you probably got to. That you got gold stars. That's what you need, gold stars. You want a fucking little board so you can feel like you've accomplished something with your ignorance and your stupidity. What about that Department of War though, huh? How we doing with the Department of War, y'all? How successful are we with the Department of War? Remember that we were not gonna start any wars. Yo, what up, Vital? Yeah, the Department of War. You ain't here? That's what they're changing the Department of Defense, even though it is an act that needs to be signed off by Congress in order to change that. No, the thing is that most MAGA Republicans don't understand that it's just like the stupid ones will continue to vote for Donald Trump and his representation in 2026, but most of them will not. All 77 million that they want to gloat about is crazy. You you remember this though? Y'all remember when Joe Biden's health was such a concern for MAGA? Y'all remember that, right? Y'all remember? Y'all remember? He wasn't fit to be in office. Yada yada yada. This, and that. And I was just like, didn't he have like a whole blotch here? Whole blotch. Whole blotch. Isn't that cause for concern? Isn't that a health concern? Imagine, imagine this. Imagine coming into a live saying, "Oh my God, host, you got your $8,000." Clearly, they didn't come to your dumb ass because you were too fucking stupid to get the money. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Imagine being that stupid. Imagine being that stupid that you're gonna be like, "Oh my God, you got $8,000. Yet here you are swallowing my nuts." Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. You know the funny thing is that only Republicans believe that men can get pregnant. Cause why is that the only question that they come up with? Like, is it because you're trying to find out for yourself? Because that's what I'm starting to think. It's just like they always ask, y'all don't even know what a woman is, or y'all don't know what a male is. It was just like, clearly you don't either, because you always come in asking the same fucking questions. Are you trying to get pregnant? Is that what it is? Because a lot of the times it's a lot of those Republicans that end up in the closet that don't want to come out. It's a lot of those Republicans that come out and end up being caught one way or another. Somehow they end up in the fucking Republican convention and they just shut down Grinder. Because it's always just like, how ignorant and how stupid do you have to ask to see? Imagine asking that question when it's the same people that don't want women to get abortions. Gotcha, you having it right now. You having your period right now. So damn, look at you. Look how sensitive you getting. It's just like that's how sensitive my man is getting. Just like, do you believe men can get pregnant? Do you believe men can have periods? It was just like, just because you want to, bro, just say that. You don't have to hide behind the fucking thing. It was just like my man is hiding behind the fact that he would love to experience getting pregnant. It's okay, bro. It's not gonna happen for you. It's not gonna happen. You don't understand it. Most of the men that are always asking is just like, oh, do you think women can get pregnant? Yeah, don't get laid. We can tell you don't get laid. We can tell you get no ass at all. Because if you have to ask that question, we can tell you ain't got no ass. It's okay though. It's okay. I understand why y'all so frustrated. That's what it. That's why most of y'all so frustrated. The fact that most Republican men, the fact that most Republican men need laws to be changed in order for them to be able to get women is telling. That's why they want a male-dominated household, bro. You weren't even male enough to get the fucking woman. You had to change the law so that they couldn't vote, or they couldn't say what they could do with their body, so that you can feel manly enough. That's crazy. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy that you have to try to change the law because you too bitch made and can't get a woman regularly? That you have to change the fucking law. Crazy. Crazy. That's why they want 14-year-old marriages, because then they want to be able to control the women. That's what it is. It's because they know that if they actually go to try to get a woman, they can't. It's simple. It's simple explanation. Like, you don't need fucking to be a rocket scientist to understand that. Most of these men get no ass in the first place. So the best thing they could do is try to change it so that the age of 14 is the age of consent. Or they try to drop it down. Or they try to make it that, actual pedophiles don't get condemned. Crazy, isn't it? It's like, because the thing is you know what it is? I kicked them. I kicked them. It was just like it's simple, because the thing is when TikTok or MAGA sees I'm making too much fucking sense, they try to send somebody to gaslight. They try to send somebody to gaslight, to try to agitate, to try to have me say something, so that way they have a way of mass reporting me because I supposedly said something. That's why I stream on YouTube also at the same time. That's why you can check me out on YouTube. The little thing up here, VetAwareProject, that's where I'm streaming from right now. Otherwise, it's usually on my other account. But it's just like, I was just like, because that's why I haven't been streaming live the past week. Because they got mad when I started calling fucking Donald Trump a snitch. Because he was an informant. They tried to say that I was lying. They tried to say that it was misinformation when I was just clearly repeating what Mike Johnson said at a press conference interview. He said that Donald Trump was a informant for Epstein, meaning he was a snitch. So I don't see how I'm wrong for saying that Donald Trump is a snitch. But at the same time, it's also adding the fact that Donald Trump was an informant, meaning he was caught and had to be turned because he was caught doing what he was informing on. Because you don't inform on shit you have no idea is happening. Crazy. Because you notice it's always the same ones. It's always the ones that are racist, the ones that their thing just does this and doesn't hit their side of the hips. It's usually the ones that do this that want to change all the laws and shit like that because they want to be able to feel manly. If you don't get your little dick having ass out my fucking face with your bullshit, man, fuck out of here. I was just like, that's what it is. That's what it is. You mad at the fact that people of color and minorities, their shit swings like this, and your shit swings like this, and you mad. That's why you want to get rid of them. That's why I understand all these people want to get rid of them. Because the thing is they mad for competition. They fragile. You have to be fragile to be mad at people just because of their color of their skin. You know why? Because you know they got color on their skin. You know they got a bigger dick than you. That's it. I said it. I fucking said it. That's why they mad. That's why they got to change the laws. Because the thing is if they get another fucking woman and they can control the woman, their little is gonna have to do. Because everybody else that can do this shit ain't around. So, am I right or am I right? Another thing, notice how none of them have contradicted me? I just love when I can just talk and it's just like the shit just comes to me and it's just like, yo, that makes sense now. It's like y'all mad because y'all got little ass shit that your shit just does this and your shit isn't fucking flapping on. Look, they mad they can't do a helicopter with their shit. That's what it is. They see that shit and they be like, damn, this motherfucker could do a whole fucking flip with his shit. I can't even. I'm gonna sit my ass down. That's what they do. I'm gonna sit down and you know what? I'm gonna change the fucking laws. I'm tired of these big. Oh man, I crack myself up sometimes. but but y'all see, look, y'all understand where I'm coming from. Y'all understand where I'm coming from. That's why they mad. You can't tell me there's no other reason. Because the thing is if you supposedly manly as you are, so fucking patriotic, so fucking alpha, why is it that you need to change the laws to get a woman? Why is it that you have to control women? Why is it that they forget that they came out of a fucking woman? That's why that's what always confuses me. Do you think men can get pregnant? I was like, yo, dumbass came out of a fucking woman. Did you come out of a dude? No. So how stupid do you gotta fucking be to ask that question? That's how I know you've never seen any in your life. You wondering what that shit looks like. You've heard of it. Legend says it's amazing. Legend. You never experienced it though. So that's why you mad. Oh, here goes another one with this little. That's crazy. Yo, this is how fragile Republican men are. You want to get rid of DEI because you notice that women can compete with you at all levels, at all jobs. You don't want them to have the right to their own bodies because you think you can do whatever you want. You want to reduce the age of consent. And it was just like, damn, as you keep on going down the list, y'all sound more bitch and bitch and bitch. I've lost count of how bitch you are. It was just like everything, because it's like, damn. It was just like we have a problem with women having equal rights. I was like, damn. You know what? You know where I noticed it was just like Deja, because you military, so you understand this. I have a problem with women being in combat arms. You know why? Because some of these women are outperforming the men, and it makes the men look weak. That's it. That's it. You don't want the women in those fields because of the fact that you mad that somebody's competing with you of another fucking gender. You mad at the transgender because they still outperform you. That's crazy. That's crazy. It was just like, oh my God, we don't want women and shit. It was just like some of the people in the fucking military. And if you're going to be naive and fucking an ignorant veteran, please shut the fuck up. Because you're not going to tell me that these fucking seniors that are fucking overweight and can't pass fucking height and weight are beating out the fucking women or the fucking transgender that we have in the military. You not gonna fucking tell me that. You are not gonna fucking try to do that battle with me. It was like all these people that pencil whip their fucking PT test and all this shit, and all of a sudden it was just like, come on now. Come on now. I don't want to hear that bullshit. And I was just like, oh, remember this. What is the highest demographic of the most educated in this country? What's the most educated demographic in this country right now? Exactly. Black women. Put it like that. Woman. Woman. The most educated woman. Woman. That not even I don't even care if it's what the race is. Who's the leading demographic? Women. We don't need to put the whole race and thing like that. I graduated with my master's degree. I graduated from Kansas State University with my master's degree. And what is that school full of? And full of? Women. Most colleges, women. So yeah, these frail white men that have no ability, or just men in general that are frail enough that they're concerned that a woman can compete with them. It's nothing else. But then the problem is that you have women that are also okay with these people doing that. It was like women are more educated. Women are doing it. And it's just like they're doing it while also being mothers, while also doing stuff. So you want to restrict their ability to stand out because the thing is, they make you look weak. Those men that are concerned with women being in the workplace and not being at home is because you look like a bitch compared to her. It's just like you mad at the fact that women are doing so well. You mad at the fact that women fought for their rights to vote. You fought for the fact that women are fighting for equal pay. You mad at the fact that they don't that they get to choose their. But the thing is, the crazy thing that I want to say is, it's just like this is the interesting part, because most of y'all women in here, because the men ain't gonna say shit. But funny how a woman has to be told that she can't have an abortion, but then these white dudes with limp dick need fucking medication for it. Isn't that hold on. Isn't that isn't that gender affirming care? I thought we didn't want gender affirming care. So imagine the fact that your shit already just does this, and then you need a pill to get it to do this? That's wild. Wild. That's some next level shit. That's that that's some next level shit. I never like makes me sad sometimes. It makes me sad. Cause it's like, damn. I was like, that's gender affirming care, the same thing you hate, the same thing you don't want, the same thing that people shouldn't be able to get. Cause the thing is that's affirming that you a male, but your shit ain't working, so you need the medication to affirm yourself being an actual man. But then a woman can't decide to not have a child, even though it's her body, it's within her choosing. But you as a male need assistance to operate, and that's not an issue. Oh, and it's always the same thing, because I always bring it up to the Second Amendment people. I was just like, I bring this. That was just like, this is the thought process I've always had with the Second Amendment and women's rights. You shouldn't be talking about them. Reproductive, anything women, that's a woman's issue. Let the women deal with it. If they want to do something with their body, they do something with their body. If you want to own a weapon, you own a weapon. If somebody tells you you can't own a weapon, then all of a sudden it's infringement of your rights. But if somebody gets told, the woman gets told, you can't have any life-saving care, that's not a right. Because that's always the conversation I have with these right-wing Second Amendment owners, that is just like, you never see that inference, right? I was just like, it's a piece of property, yet nobody can tell you what to do with it but those same weak ass men that need a pistol to actually be tough are the same ones that feel that women shouldn't be that way or they shouldn't be able to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like you just keep on coming out, and it's just like the more you look into it is the frailty of these men as we continue with this country. It's just basically showing like these men are trying to do this, they're trying to do that, but they're not successful. Women are the population. Shit, I got 3 fucking daughters. I'm going to fight and die on that hill if I need to. Why? Because my daughters and my wife are successful. You know what's the funniest thing about these people and this whole transgender thing about bathrooms and stuff like that? Let me guess. Do you want to go into a bathroom and just watch everyone pee? Is that your fucking dream job? Is that what you fucking resort to? That's what you want to fucking get. Like that's what Republicans want. They want to be able to see somebody's shit that goes like this because their shit only goes like this, but they want to watch everyone in the bathroom. Because how the fuck do you know? Because last time I checked, any fucking man that goes into a bathroom goes, uses it, and leaves. Same thing with a woman. Now, unless y'all there looking for something, I don't see what the fucking issue is. Please explain when that. What are you gonna do? Put a detail on it? Because the thing is yeah, they're just like they want to be a bathroom inspector. That's what it is. It's just like, oh, can you show me yours? I need to make sure you belong in here, bro. What? Yeah, weird as fuck. It's not even that. It's the fact that there's already bathrooms that have unisex. They have it. They even have family ones. The thing is you know what they talking about? The fact is that they're not talking about, hey, maybe we should have enough bathrooms for everybody. If you have a worry about having just 2 bathrooms that one person has to pick and choose where they have to pee or shit at, maybe you shouldn't go outside. I've never seen, you know what's funny? Because it's funny because Republicans and MAGA will be like, oh my God, liberals are so fucking, liberals are so weak. Liberals are snowflakes. Yet here they are worried about somebody taking a piss in their bathroom. Do they shit differently? Because I'm trying to figure. See, he's just like more concerned with the locker rooms than anything. You notice how they have laws for that, and they have. Oh, that's right. You know what's up, Brooke? It was like you notice how the states that have a problem with the people in the locker room and stuff like that are the same ones that end up having people raped, but then they change the laws for them. Like the state of Utah, you've had 2 people do that in the state of Utah, but you don't see any changes about the bathrooms there. You don't see anything when they commit crimes. So you want to make sure that transgenders can't go into the bathroom, but then you're okay with letting the pedophiles roam around, right? We don't make that association. We just ignore that one, right? Because remember how MAGA and Republicans are like, oh my God, it's the transgender and all these people teaching us our kids this. Yet it's always the Republicans being caught. The ones that are always so against all these things are the ones always caught doing it. How you hate something that you've never dealt with before? Because it's just like, and that's the thing, like I said, most of the problem with MAGA and Republicans is they don't mind their own fucking business. It was just like, bro, if you don't have any transgender issues in your fucking what up, Vegas? They let me free, bro. They let me free. It was just like, if you don't have any transgender in your community, how is it that it's affecting you? How is it that it's affecting you? How is it that you live in a red state, but somehow the Democratic states are doing such harm to you? You don't even live there. Somehow these Democratic states have been paying and funding for everything, yet your Republican state is mad at the fact that the Democratic state is actually taking care of their own people. Yet instead of minding their business and taking care of their own fucking state or taking care of themselves, they worried about somebody else. Why are y'all so fucking nosy? Y'all some of the nosiest fucking people I've ever seen. Ignorant at that too, because it's just like, damn, you paid attention to everything but your own fucking state, city, or county. The same ones that'll come into my life is be like, damn, bro, this dude don't got no job. Bro, maybe you should get one or get enough money where you can just talk shit online for hours and not have to worry about the money. I wasn't complaining about the eggs. I wasn't complaining about the gas. I wasn't complaining about the electric prices. I wasn't complaining about the gas prices. I wasn't complaining about shit. I just knew shit was gonna go up. I've been telling people this since last September. But it's still fake news. I've been like, but here you are worried about what I'm doing, yet you haven't picked yourself up by the bootstraps. So what, you want me to pick yours up for you? Another grown ass man wants me to take care of what they have the inability to do. Don't you think that's crazy, y'all? You don't find that fucking crazy? The inability for y'all to take care of yourselves cause y'all to be mad at the fact that somebody else is taking care of their own. But then the people that need to take care of you don't. The representation you have doesn't. Donald Trump surely don't give a fuck about you. Shit, most of y'all can't even tell me who your fucking Republican senators are. Can't tell me who your fucking representative is in your district. But somehow you're gonna tell me that you're winning. Okay. I'll somehow you not gonna. I just want to go back to this informant shit. This shit is funny to me. Fucking, you are an informant. I was just like, bro, nobody's seen the fucking. You know what it is? It's just like these people have no lives and is nosy as shit, but they not nosy into the fact of knowing how a fucking informant works. Y'all want to run that by me again? How does an informant work? MAGA. You had a couple of shit. If you were here from the beginning, I was just like, the thing is Vegas. What have I told you since you've seen me streaming, since you've seen my lives? What do I say? All you got to do is let MAGA keep on talking. Just let them keep talking. Keep on asking them questions and keep on having them answer. Because at the end of it, you're going to realize how they can't even answer their own stupidity because they contradict themselves in their own statements. They're about law and order, but they support a felon. That goes out the fucking window. You can tell me what an undocumented immigrant is, but you can't tell me what a racist looks like. That's an interesting one. You telling me that the corporations are the one that pay the taxes on the tariffs, yet your prices is going up. That's a crazy one they never thought of. Damn. It was like no MAGA has not been able to come in here and explain to me how he was an informant and he wasn't part of it. The thing is to feel special and feel like you're superior, that means you have to actually be that. Because they always say it's like Trump, what is it? Trump derangement syndrome? Trump derangement syndrome. Where is it just the derangement? It's just Where's the derangement? Because that's what these people have. It's not even Trump syndrome. It's just like you are just deranged. There's no logical explanation anymore as to how naive, how ignorant you can actually try to act and say you are still supporting this. It was like you can't tell me you can't tell me you can't tell me you support taking women's rights. You can't tell me you support taking away from the kids. You can't tell me you support taking away from the poor. You can't say you're okay with taking away from the elderly. Mind you, they fit every one of these demographics because they forget that they are still the majority in this country. So literally, the bigger effect is going to happen to you ignorant folk because they're the majority. That's not even a cult. I don't even know if that's even a cult. That's something else. Because the thing is in a cult, you at least say you'll disagree with something. You'll go ahead and do it, but you'll at least disagree with stuff. I was like, yo, this shit sound crazy, but fuck it, we gonna do it anyway. They can't even do that. Brainwashed is more like it. Because in a cult, somebody's going to be like, you know what? At least they would admit to, you know what? This shit sounds stupid, but we going to go ahead and do it anyway. Because you notice how none of them have been able to ever admit that, right? They've never been able to admit that they were wrong. They never are able to admit anything of the sort. So that's starting to think of just like a cult doesn't do that because a cult would at least acknowledge the fact that, hey, we are following Donald Trump even though this is wrong. That would be a cult. But to say, hey, I'm just going to fucking do this because I'm not even going to acknowledge that it's wrong. I'm going to just circumvent that. Yeah, there's not going to be no accountability because the thing is, there was no accountability after the first administration. These people act and forgot that he was already president and he fucked shit up. So it's like you didn't even hold him accountable for his fuck ups during his first administration. We already know you're going to be full of shit during this next one. That's already understandable. You're already going to learn that now. It's not going to be new logic. It's not going to be a new instance. It's already understanding. It's just like, damn, y'all were this dumb that y'all couldn't even fucking acknowledge this the first time around when he duped y'all and lied to y'all. And y'all did it again? Crazy sometimes. Sometimes you got to wonder, and it's just like, damn, how did we get here? How did we get to this instance where it's just like, damn, these people still dumb. They still don't know what they talking about. You sure, Silos? Because MAGA don't think so. MAGA don't think that they got it was because he was associated. MAGA believes that it was because of the kindness of Donald Trump's heart to decide to become an FBI informant. You can't make this shit up, bro. You just can't. Yo, you have to be that level of fucking crazy, that level of brainwash, that level of stupid, that level of ignorant to actually believe that. You actually got fucking Republican and MAGA content creators trying to say that, oh, because he was an informant means he wasn't on the list. The people that are so concerned with crime don't know what crime is. The people that are so worried about the crime in DC and oh my God, all this don't know what crime is, that they don't know what an informant is. Yet they want everything to be patrolled. They want the National Guard here. They want the National Guard there. But they can't tell me that's crazy. Like I said earlier, the biggest crime we've had so far in Washington, D.C. with the National Guard is whoever is littering. Because literally that's what you have the National Guard doing is fucking picking up trash. So the biggest fucking crime happening in DC right now is whoever's littering fucking trash. That was the big go-to. Trash. Trash is what's fucking condemning these streets. Trash is what's making it's making it difficult to live in these areas. Homelessness is not illegal. Homelessness is not illegal. Homelessness, again, I say, is not illegal. He literally did say he was going to clean up DC. That's the one thing, yo. One thing I will give Donald Trump. Donald Trump said he was going to clean up DC, and that's one of the first things he's actually fucking executed. I give him props. I give him props. That the one fucking executive order that fucking did something that he actually meant. Besides that, what else? He said, I'm going to clean up DC. And the National Guard is cleaning up DC. You can't say he's wrong. You got to agree with MAGA on that one. You got to give MAGA that one. Like MAGA, he did clean up. Just spot on. He cleaned up DC. Or he's in the process of cleaning up DC because I guess they're still picking up trash. So we don't know. We don't know yet. But hey, man. I was just like, he keeps on signing executive orders that don't make no fucking sense. It's just like, look at the executive order about trying to get somebody to go to jail for a year if they burn an American flag, when there's already been a constitutionally fucking approved judgment stating that that is a First Amendment right. Is it right? Do I agree with it? No. But if you burning it for a reason. Nobody decides to burn the American flag because they happy. I've never seen a person that's happy with what's going on in the country decide to burn the American flag. Please point them out. Because I would love to interview that person. I just want to see who decided, you know what? I'm so happy with what this country's doing. I'm going to burn the American flag. You can't arrest people like that. The thing is that they're just trying to circumvent it to try to make it so that way all these people that are rioting and they see them burning the flag, it gives them an excuse to try to snatch them off the street. That's it. Because you're able to do that. But shit, most people, look, I'll tell you this much. This is one thing that I know MAGA doesn't know, and most people don't know, that you are not supposed to be wearing the American flag how people wear it. The American flag is not supposed to be sold. The American flag is not supposed to be sewn on to anything. The American flag is not supposed to be worn as any kind of outer garment. So you're not supposed to have it as your shorts. You're not supposed to have it as a t-shirt. You're not supposed to do that with the American flag. Yet corporations do it no problem. The fucking bikini. You're not supposed to wear it. Is title. It's forget the fucking thing. But the code for the American flag, you are not supposed to do that with. But MAGA doesn't know that. MAGA parades it. MAGA goes as far as to defile the fucking flag by putting Trump's name on it. MAGA goes as far as fucking going against this country's own flag by running the Confederate flag. So that tells you enough. MAGA will run a Confederate flag and disrespect the American flag by not even acknowledging the actual American flag and using the Confederate flag, or using a Trump flag, or using the 13 colonies flag. And it was just like, if you rock a Confederate flag, you should be deemed the enemy of the fucking country. How is it that you like that's the thing that I find interesting with MAGA. It's just like, hold on. So you mean to tell me you don't even You're so patriotic that you can't even represent the actual American fucking flag, and you using a Confederate one that the American actually beat out because they lost. But you rocking that, and that's not disrespectful to the United States of America. Yeah, I know people have it tatted. I know people have it tatted. People have it on shirts and all that stuff. People rock it in front of their front yard. It's just like, yo, it's easy to just sell you racist. You just proclaiming and making it easier for a person to identify racist. But remember, Republicans can't identify racist because they're all, well, I'm not gonna say all. Republicans and MAGA can't identify racists because they run with racists, so they can't identify them somehow. But they can tell you who an illegal documented person is while having a Confederate flag, while showing that you don't even believe in the United States, that you still rock a flag that lost how many years ago? Because the Confederacy lost how many years ago? The Confederacy lost a pretty long fucking time ago, and you still rocking that flag? Crazy, isn't it? Crazy how you so. But it's funny, you notice how none of MAGA comes in and says anything, right? MAGA ain't got shit to say now. MAGA quiet as hell. MAGA can't. MAGA has no comebacks to understand or explain why they're rocking a flag that isn't American. But they're so patriotic. So patriotic. You got to be so patriotic to not know that the Confederate flag was the losing flag against the actual United States of America. And we became the United States of America because we beat your asses. And it's just like they forget. It was just like, we beat your ass the first time. Why? What makes you think we're gonna lose the second time? Imagine thinking that because they won back in those days, but then forget the fact that in those days, minorities couldn't own weapons, couldn't register to own weapons. They couldn't even fucking vote. They didn't even have a voice to anything. Now imagine trying that shit now when people have the right to vote. People have the right to fucking education. Women have the right to vote. Everyone has the ability to own a weapon. I was just like, imagine those fucking turn that's gonna fucking take. Where you thought you were just so, I can't even say superior because I don't like, if if MAGA was so superior, why are you so scared of everybody else? If MAGA and Republicans are so superior, why are they scared of every other race? Yeah, they would know how to read. I'm just saying. It was just like, y'all superior. Y'all can't stand women. Y'all wanna take away all their capabilities, but y'all superior. I was like, look, if you need to change laws to make yourself superior, you weren't superior in the first place. If you have to circumvent the law and make up bullshit laws and stuff like that, you weren't superior in the first place. You never have been. You had to make it that people had to change what they did and you had to influence what they did to become superior. You were never superior in the first place. If you had to institute, like, imagine this. This is one of the prime examples. Imagine African Americans having freedom and then being able to, because they had to remember, they had to desegregation. Imagine the fact that you were so inferior that you had to come up with Jim Crow laws and you had to come up with code laws just to fucking try to get them in jail to not compete with you. Sounds like a tactic of a weak man. or weak men. That's the tactic I see out of that. I don't see anything else to that. You had to continue to try to find ways to slow down a certain community, a certain demographic, a certain type of people in order to try to keep your superiority or whatever, however they want to call it. I was just like, no, it's not that they want to lower the standard to a minimum to make them feel superior. Well, kind of it is. Because the thing is the lower they lower the standards, the more of their fragile, weak, stupid get elevated. So it makes it seem like they're doing so much better. Because remember, like I said earlier, the demographic, the most educated demographic we have right now is black women. Imagine that. Imagine it being women. And that's why I said not only black women, it's just women in general. Because like I said, I graduate from school, you go to schools, it's mostly women in schools. No, it's not wiping out the competition because they don't want, the thing is they want to be able to say that they are doing better. They don't want to wipe out the competition. They just want to be able to show that they have some superiority. Imagine, yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's what I say. You had a 400-year lead. You had legacy programs. You had the ability to go get educated. You had free college. You can go to college. You can go to college because your grandpa, your great 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 grandpa graduated from school. You can go to the fucking school. You had to differentiate these people. You had to make it, remember, because it was 3/5 at first, and then it was just like that, and then you got all this money. All these programs were made. They took advantage of them. Then it had to be made. Imagine that the laws had to be changed in order to incorporate people of color to get the same ability, to get the same things. And then once you called it that, you made it affirmative action and you saw that these people started outperforming you with affirmative action. Then all of a sudden you started saying, oh, we got to get rid of this because we're allowing them to have a place and show that they are better. Because if you look at it, most of the creations that we have in this country came from African Americans, came from black people. Just look up random shit in your fucking house. Came from regular African Americans that had to either go through prejudice, had to go through discrimination, had to deal with segregation. Shit, one of my favorite movies is Hidden Figures. The people that got us to the fucking moon, black women. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy, isn't it? Women. Again, here we are again with women. Women leading the way. African American women leading the way. Mind you, African American women were able to lead the way and do all this, but somehow Harris wasn't qualified. Imagine that shit. Imagine that fucking shit. Imagine being so imagine being so mad that DEI was working and actually having women compete against men, and men got so mad that it was just like, we got to get rid of this shit. White women are catching up to us, black women are catching up to us, women in general are catching up to us. We can't have this DEI shit. This shit is bad for our masculinity. That's literally what it is. It was like, literally, that's what it was. The masculinity of these men is fragile. That you are concerned about competing against a woman. I was just like, why don't you pick yourself up by the bootstraps? Isn't that the go-to? Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Isn't that the MAGA saying? Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Like I said, I grew up in a household basically of all women. There's not many males in my family. So I've been revering and honored to have a whole matriarch of women around me. Because I've learned from all of them. I didn't become this educated just because my dad taught me. My dad was around. He didn't teach me that much. I learned mostly from the women in my house. Think I learned to clean just because I did burn a bunch of shit, but what I pay attention to? My mom. How you make this? I wasn't me trying to figure it out. It wasn't me going to a dude like, yo, how you cook this? Not never. What the fuck? Let's be serious now. It's just like it was like some had to do it out of necessity, but the thing is that's what they are. And the thing is to restrict them and try to take away the ability and the capabilities that they have is a problem I have. Because the thing is, like I said, I have daughters. And there's nobody that's going to restrict or take away something that they've earned, they worked hard for, or anybody going to tell them what they do with their body. We can fight on that. I ain't got no problem with that. These, like I tell people, these hands are rated E for everyone. Just like we ain't having that discussion. You're not gonna talk about fucking bringing down the age of consent to 14, because if you say something to my daughter in any capacity, I'm going to jail. But hey, I think if I would have do something like that and I would have come on like TikTok or something like, yo man, I need bail money. I think y'all would help me out though. I think. I would hope. I'd be like, yeah, that would be the only time y'all would see me asking for money. Like, bro, they got me on bail money, man. Can y'all help a brother out? And that's it. And I'm gonna just be like, yo, somebody said something to my daughter and I pieced them. That's it. That's the only time y'all will hear me ask for any donations or something like that is to help me with bail money. That's it. That would be the only time you ever hear me about donate. If you want to donate, that's on you. But besides that, that'll be the only time you will probably see Cruz make a video like, yo, can y'all support me with this GoFundMe? I'm locked up right now. Somebody got stupid and I slapped the shit out of him and I beat his ass and here I am. I need out though. That'll be the only time. Because yeah, I know I don't ask for donations. I don't ask for gifts. I don't ask for any of that. I don't. Because the thing is it's just easy to have these conversations because you have to talk about them. But I don't ask for that. Because the thing is somebody has to say the things I'm saying. Not everybody thinks of the shit I'm saying. But it's crazy because it's just like it's these same people that want to defend and want to be all manly and stuff like that. If you such a fucking man, why aren't you defending kids? If you such a fucking protector, why ain't you fucking protecting kids? If you such a fucking alpha male, or women, why aren't you protecting kids and women? Sounds bitch made to me. So I don't want to hear about these being tough or all this stuff. And it's just like, bro, this dude coming in here talking about faith. Look, I ain't got nothing against your religion. I don't care. I don't care what your faith is. I don't care what your belief is. But if you're a fucking hypocrite, I'm gonna call you the fuck out on it. Don't come here about talking about faith, talking about Christianity, Catholicism. I don't want to hear none of that shit. If you're not condemning these people that are doing these things, don't say you're a fucking religious person. Don't say you have a belief system. I'm a fucking atheist. And I'm disgusted by seeing all these fucking people that want to fucking support and say, oh my God, Donald Trump is such a Christian. Bitch, what? I was just like, it's crazy that offends me, and I don't even believe in the fucking religion, but it doesn't offend these fucking MAGA nuts that they have a person that has basically broken damn near any. How many sins does this man commit all the fucking time? How many does he continue to do? How much has he fucking done? And you still want to support him? Nah, we're not gonna have that. We're not gonna have that. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not gonna have that. I'm not gonna be a person is that MAGA isn't Christian. MAGA is not Christian. You don't judge. That alone throws them the fuck out. You don't judge. That throws them the fuck out. You don't take care of the children, the poor, or the elderly. What? What? Like, where are you religious at all? Where are you a person of faith? It's just like you're not gonna tell me that you are a religious person, but you follow this person, because then that basically like it brings out more of the hypocrisy and the ignorance of these people. To have the audacity to say they're religious. I don't care what religion you are. Every single religion comes from the same place. But you sure as hell ain't gonna talk about deporting Guatemalan kids or just kids to Guatemala with no fucking parents. You just rounded up all the kids and decided to send them to another fucking country with no fucking parents. That's not Christian like. You're not gonna judge people. It's not about the Zionists or Zionist Muslims, Catholics, Christians. It don't matter your fucking religion. If your religion is fucking stating that you should not be committing murder or hurting people, and that's the main thing you do, using your religion as a shield is not going to work here. Using your religion as any kind of shielding or any kind of way of saying like, oh, we're against this, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't. Because people will be like, oh, you're anti-Semitic, you're anti-Christian, you're anti-Catholicism. No, I'm anti-bullshit. I'm anti-lying. I'm anti-going against everything you so-called fucking believe in and being a hypocrite about it. There's no anti-anything. It's just calling you out for being a fraud. No matter what your religion is. If you believe in anything that's going on in this fucking world right now, and you're going to say that, oh, nothing? Yeah. Nah. No, the thing is, Deja, that's the thing. The scapegoat for a lot of Jewish people, and I will say that for a lot of Jewish people, is that they like to call people anti-Semitic because they don't agree with their stance. No, I don't agree with your stance. Your own fucking religion doesn't even agree with your stance. So how you gonna tell me that I'm anti-Semitic when you can't even follow your own fucking faith? Wouldn't that make them anti-Semitic? You going against what your fucking own faith is fucking preaching and teaching you. You are being anti-Semitic to your own fucking religion. So that's why I love when somebody comes up with that fucking excuse. Because it's just like, bro, you ain't even following the faith that your own fucking religion is saying. So literally, you are against what you preach. So you are anti-Semitic. Or am I seeing that wrong? Or maybe I just enlightened so many people that now these people are gonna try to come at me and go, oh my god, he said this, he said that. And it was like, I said what I said. If you cannot believe in your own faith, if you cannot follow your own faith, and you go against what the faith is fucking preaching, that would make you anti whatever. But that's the fucking excuse they go to because that's what they run to. The same way when you start calling a racist, they be like, oh my God, why'd you bring race into it? Because I was able to identify you as a racist. The same way you were able to identify a person that spoke another language as an immigrant. We don't like labeling. We don't like labeling though, right? Oh yeah, I went to college with my roommate was black when I was in college. It was only for like a semester, but I had a black roommate. Like, shut your bitch ass up, man. Like, come on. My friend is from Mexico, and you ain't saying nothing against the rest of Mexicans that are getting deported or being snatched up. So you only care for that person and not the rest of people? See, it's just like I said, it's just like you just gotta let them keep fucking talking. The more that these people keep talking, they themselves put themselves in their own predicaments where you just gotta use their own words. Like I said, you're not gonna tell me I'm anti-Semitic when you don't even believe and follow your own faith. You more anti-Semitic than I am. If that's the case, then if that's what they want to throw around, it was just like you worse than that. You worse than me that you claim I am, but you yourself can't even go with your own fucking belief system, and then you're just like, man said Trump is bad for America. You notice this now? It's like we already knew that. He's too busy being an informant than being a president. That's what it is. It's, they're just like, come on now. Y'all can't come up with this shit. Y'all can't make this shit up. Yeah, can't make this shit up. This is stuff that is just like, hey, the fuck around and find out stage. We approaching the find out stage for many people. By the end of this year, the find out stage is gonna be heavy on a lot of people. Heavy. I mean heavy. Like, oh shit, heavy. But we'll just blame Joe Biden. Or we'll just blame Democrats. Or we'll blame anybody but themselves. Because this isn't what I voted for. Nah, that's what you voted for. That's what you voted for. Everybody knows that's what you voted for. Nobody's questioning the fact that that's what you're voting for. Oh no, didn't you see about the farmers? Their thoughts and prayers. They had thoughts and prayers. Since they haven't been getting any answers from their representation or the president or any Republicans, they went to God for help. You didn't see that? It was like a whole congregation of just farmers. They went to God for assistance. Crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. The same people that wanted America to have all the jobs, they're being taken by all these immigrants. Yet they forgot that all those immigrants were that kept them farmers. Oh no, according to the economics and labor, we only added 22,000 jobs. But we're doing good right now. We're doing good right now, y'all. We only added 22,000 jobs. Mind you, we've been deporting and getting rid of people for how long now? It's been 8 months. Wouldn't there be more jobs available because you deported so many people? Am I getting that right? There should be an abundance of jobs for these people that can't get jobs because of all the jobs that were being taken by these. We were supposed to be adding jobs this whole time. Remember all the jobs, and it's just like, where are these jobs being added to? Because the thing is you don't see anybody really hiring. Imagine the fact that being a racist, you thought being a racist was actually going to help you. Imagine thinking that. Imagine thinking that you being a racist was actually going to help you, but it was that you were so ignorant and so incoherent and didn't have the analytical thinking to think, oh my God, these are the people that work for me. You know what the other thing I find interesting is? How come none of these farmers have been arrested? Anybody ever wonder that? Anybody ever ask that question? How come all these employers who employed illegal workers are not arrested? Because literally, you want to say that these undocumented people broke the law. So these employers are accomplices because they are hiring people that they know broke the law. Nah, fuck the fine. I want them jailed, Tyrone. I don't want them fined. I want them jailed. You are complicit. You are an accomplice in this because you knew they were undocumented. You knew it was a crime to hire them. You knew not to hire an American that was not getting the job. And you kept them there the whole time. But somehow you ain't at fault. It was like interesting. It was just like, you're hiring undocumented people, but you're not arresting any of the people employing these people. Oh, they must have been an informant. Yo, Apple, you right. You right. All these fucking employers are fucking snitches. That's what it is. They snitched on themselves. So that's what it is. All these employers snitched, became informants, so that way they would round up the illegal documents or documents, illegal immigrants that they hired, so that they wouldn't catch any heat. They went and snitched. Apple, you just connected the fucking dots to a whole nother fucking level. What's up, Grip? I was like, you just took it to a whole nother fucking level with the explanation right there. I was just like, that's what it is. All these farmers were fucking informants. They went and called fucking Customs and Border Patrol and be like, yo, I got like fucking 15 of them working for me over here. And it's just like, am I gonna go to jail? Nah, cause you snitched on them. It was like, okay. Same way Donald Trump was an informant for child trafficking. That means you were involved in child trafficking to become an informant. They wouldn't have gone to you. Cause like put it like this. Why the fuck would they go to somebody that has no idea what's going on, has no interactions with them, has no relationship about that whole system? Why would they go to you to become an informant? That's what I'm trying to figure out MAGA's fucking thinking. Like, how would you think that the FBI decided, yo, let's approach Donald Trump when he don't know nothing? I'm still trying to figure that out. Tell me how you got made an informant without knowing any information. Tell me how they decided, yo, Donald Trump, we need you to snitch on this guy. But you don't know what's going on. But we need you to snitch. Why would you involve yourself in a crime of child trafficking if you had nothing to do with it? Donald Trump is always the best president. He does everything correctly. He's so great. That would have been front page news. That would have been front. You mean to tell me that Donald Trump wouldn't have decided to make that one of his biggest things? Like, yeah, I'm the reason Jeffrey Epstein was fucking arrested. You don't think he would have been gloating about that? You don't think he would have been talking all that shit? Matter of fact, if that was the case, it shouldn't be a problem to release the documents, right? But the thing is that most smart people that know how informants work understand that that means you had to have been caught in order to be turned. Meaning you decided to give up information to save your own ass because they caught you in the same predicament. Now, you got to think about it like this. No, because the thing is Mike Johnson's the only one that made that claim because Mike Johnson and Donald Trump talk all the time, right? Because that's what he says. We talk about this all the time. We want to make sure the victims are safe. We want to make sure the victims are safe. So why not redact the victims' names and just give us the list of everybody else? Why be the Department of Justice and want to block the names of the two people that Jeffrey Epstein sent payments of $100,000 and $250,000 to? Why would you want to block that? So two people got paid off. This guy was an informant. He somehow didn't know anything about what he was informing on, yet was the reason that he got Epstein caught. And then the thing is the funny thing is that most Republicans are going to be like, oh, but he kicked him out Mar-a-Lago. You notice how he kicked him out after the court case? Not before. So if he was informing, when did he kick him out? After he was informing or before he was informing? Because remember, that's the talking point, right? They kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. Epstein was kicked out of Mar-a-Lago, right? So when was he being the informant? Because he kicked him out after the case came out. So he didn't kick him out before the case. So when the allegations and all that he started picking up, then all of a sudden he kicked him out. So when did he become the informant? After he got kicked out and the trial started? Because that doesn't make any sense. Oh, just like everybody, see, that's the thing. That's the thing that people don't say out loud. And I know MAGA will be mad. It was just like, so you mean to tell me you had a person that owned a talent agency, beauty pageant, Miss America, Miss USA, had all these women that were underage or at 18 that he would always end up seeing and would walk into their dressing room, which they confirmed while they were undressed? That's crazy, right? That's crazy that as an informant, you did all that shit. You were an informant. You were an informant. You were an informant, which makes you guilty, which makes you appear on that Epstein list. Because the thing is if you were on the flight logs, you had traveled with him, you went into different places, because people just think that Epstein just had the island. Epstein had multiple places around the world. He had a place in New York City. I believe it was on 71st Street. He had an apartment where they said they had a bunch of people going into. Funny, I did run into Bill Clinton on 57th Street, but that was 57th Street. He did have his Secret Service with him. That was the closest I've ever gotten to a fucking president. I actually got to shake his fucking hand. That was cool. I'll give him that. But if I would have known he was a pedophile, I would have slapped him. I would have gotten arrested. Y'all probably would have never seen me again, but That was the closest I got to a president. I actually got to shake Bill Clinton's hand. And that's because I was walking to fucking work and he came out of the building and I was just like starstruck. Because it was just like, it's the fucking president. Like, you don't usually run into any president, even if it's a former president, out in the middle of the fucking street. And I was just like, oh shit. And he looked at me and was like, hey. I was just like, oh shit. I shook his hand and I was still in shock while I was walking. I was just like, oh, y'all don't know if he was a pet. Oh my God, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. Come on, bro. Like, the ignorance from MAGA and Republicans just has to stop. Like y'all just have to stop. Like, it gets to the point where it's just like, y'all ignorance has to stop. Y'all gotta put an end to y'all damn ignorance. See, just hearing that sounds guilty. See what I'm saying? It was just like, just hearing the conversations, talking about all the shit, putting everything together, and all of a sudden these people is just like, nah, it's not true. So hold on. This is an even better question for Republicans, right? If this was such a Democratic hoax, why was he an informant? This has been a Democratic hoax, right? Democratic hoax the whole time. Yet Donald Trump was an informant. So how is it a hoax if you were an informant? The shit ain't adding up. Like I said, they just keep talking and the shit just don't add up. You happen to be... I'm just so confused. It's a Democratic hoax, yet he was a informant. I'm just trying to figure that out because it just makes no fucking sense. But you have MAGA's ignorant dumbass fucking believe in that. It's a Democratic hoax, yet he was a fucking... It's a Democratic hoax, but Mike Johnson said he was an informant. So how are you an informant for something that supposedly is a hoax and isn't real and is just a witch hunt? Yet you were the main character in the witch hunt because you were the one that informed supposedly to get him locked up. So how is it a Democratic hoax? How is it that he's not there? But he was an informant. You know what the ignorance of MAGA is that this is where logical thinking goes out the window, right? Because if you were an informant and you were one of the reasons why Jeffrey Epstein was locked up for what he was doing, that means that you would be in the documents. Your name is on the Epstein documents. But somehow, all the 33,000 files that they put out there, nothing has been read about Donald Trump being an informant in any of those documents. Crazy, isn't it? If he was an informant and he was the one that helped get him in jail, that would be part of it. Wouldn't that be in the court documents? Because that would mean you would have to have his testimony in order to make sure to convict him. So literally, he wasn't a victim. He was an informant, right? So he wasn't a victim. So why does his name need to be redacted? If he was informing on the situation, right? Crazy how MAGA can't come up with an answer, right? They can't inform on shit there, right? It's just crazy to me. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. They don't have the fucking mental capacity to think for themselves. That they're gonna believe that, oh, he was an informant, so he was actually helping. But if he was an informant, that means his name would be in the court documents. All the documents that have been released, he would have came out and said something because it would have been there, him testifying against Jeffrey Epstein. Because he would have had to testify against him if he was an informant. Or at least his documentation or information that he gathered, whether it was at Mar-a-Lago, whether it was on one of his plane flights, or when he was with Maxwell and Thing, at some point or another, there would be documentation clearing Donald Trump of being an informant, even though to be an informant, you had to be caught guilty, red-handed in order to be turned to become an informant. So is it that he's trying to hide the fact that he was an informant, which would mean he was guilty? Or is he trying to hide the information that's within what he observed and was a part of as an informant? Which one is it? Because you're not going to tell me you're not on any of the list. You won't have nothing to do with it. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't say nothing. Why wouldn't you just release it? Is the thing is that they're catching themselves in so many lies that they're just trying to, like, you know, when you try to make the lie so big that you just start thinking it's truth. But the thing is you have people that are actually smart and ain't fucking dumbasses that can actually put shit together. Like me, I'm just putting the information that I'm receiving from the horse's mouth. I received this information from Mike Johnson. So if you're telling me Mike Johnson's lying, somebody else got to be lying. Because if Mike Johnson says he speaks to the president all the time and he said, oh, we were trying to do this in a right way to protect the victims and stuff like that. And he was just like, oh, he was an informant for the thing that with the case. And it was just like, that's a crazy slip up. Because it wasn't a slip up because that's what he said. But somehow you can't provide it because shit, I would actually applaud that man. If that man was just like he became an informant out of the kindness of his heart and ratted on Jeffrey Epstein. Because it was out of the kindness of his heart he became an informant. That's crazy. Yeah, you don't find that interesting? Still don't find it interesting? Damn, it's crazy. It's crazy how MAGA's just like, fuck, I ain't got nothing to fucking say to this guy. Let me bring up Biden for no apparent reason. It was just like the same way when Jeffrey Epstein was asked, have you ever been in the presence, you and Donald Trump been in the presence of any minors or any women under the age of 18? And the man had to say he pled the 4th, 5th, and 14th and was not going to answer that. But MAGA doesn't know what an informant is. Clearly MAGA doesn't inform themselves. So since MAGA doesn't inform themselves, they don't educate themselves. They don't pay attention to the stuff. They don't think in a logical, practical way of just like, yo, this shit don't make no sense. It's like if you were informing on something, you had to be a part of it. Even if you weren't a part of it, you were still there witnessing these things happen for you to be able to snitch on them. So at the same time, this person was so comfortable with you doing this and doing this in front of you that you were able to bring up a case. That's wild. That's wild. Ain't it? Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy that you had nothing to do with this man? You didn't know what was going on, but somehow Jeffrey Epstein was so comfortable with you doing that in front of you. And you had no idea? No idea. That's conveniently stupid, Tyrone. That's not even ignorance. That's just being conveniently stupid. Cause ain't no fucking way y'all gonna believe that own bullshit out your own mouths that y'all can't even produce any viable information to go and contradict it. That's the thing. That's why I said just let MAGA keep talking. All you got to do is keep asking them. Keep asking them about it. Keep asking them about the Epstein files. Keep asking about the Epstein files. And the more you keep asking them, the more they're going to have to come up with more bullshit to try to make it seem like they ain't have nothing to do with it. And then it just incriminates them even more. Because him saying that he was an informant, I think might have been fucking Mike Johnson trying to... I think Mike Johnson was trying to save his own ass. Maybe. It could be that. Yo, bro, dude was an informant. Or maybe fucking Mike Johnson himself doesn't know what an informant does. Because remember, his crime rate in his state is fucking astronomical. But he doesn't know that. He talks about California's fucking crime rate, but he has a higher crime rate in Louisiana than they do in California. So maybe he just doesn't know what an informant is or how they operate. Because he doesn't know what crime is in his own fucking state. Let alone know what a fucking informant does or what he has to get into to become an informant. Deja, I explained that. So the metric that they use to say that these places have higher crime rates is of cities that have over 1 million people. So they say that LA, Chicago, New York, and I forget what the other place is. So they said 5 because why? Per capita in those areas, those places have over 1 million people. So they only track it by cities that have over 1 million people. If you go to these Republican cities, they don't have over 1 million people. So they can't fall into that statistic and they can't get enumerated or valued statistically because of the fact that they don't have 1 million people. So it's easy to say, oh, Democratic states have more crime because they have a threshold of 1 million people to count that resource. But when you look at all the other cities, the red cities, per capita, they have more. Because they have a lesser population and they have more crime in a lesser population than a state with more population and crime. But that's talking fucking gibberish to fucking MAGA because they're not going to understand that. They're just going to go off of, oh my God, these blue cities are out of control. Yes, they have 1 million fucking plus people and they still have less crime than you with the lesser amount of people. But they're not going to understand that. You could try to explain that. And that's why it's crazy because it's just like, oh, we need the fucking National Guard to go into all these cities. No, we need DC and fucking National Guard to go into your own cities. All these fucking governors are fucking slobbing on the knob to make sure to try to talk to Donald Trump. It's just like, hey, we'll send our National Guard, but yo, you got worse crime in your fucking state and you sending them elsewhere? So you taking state resources instead of using it for your own state and you taking it to another state to help an informant. That's wild. That's wild. That's a whole nother level of, I don't even know what to say. But all right, y'all. I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna take off for the rest of the day because this is. I'm gonna continue to allow these informants to continue to inform. If any, that's what we gotta tell them now. If any MAGA comes at you sideways, just be like, "Oh, so you're an informant." This is how you got your information? Because you're an informant? Got it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Look, as I tell everybody, I have my other account. So the name stuff up here, this right here, the Just Cruise on is where I do my, I usually do these chats on there, on my YouTube there. Because most of the time when I talk like this, if I'm not blocking MAGA enough, MAGA comes in and they report me. That's why I haven't been on for the past week. I got banned for the past week. So that's why I say if you want to support and you want to follow, just you can follow the YouTube. You don't even got to watch it. I don't care if y'all sit there and watch it. I don't. But in case y'all ever see me talking some common sense and I just happen to fucking just poof and disappear, just know I got banned. I I got Soggy as a mod. I'm gonna put you to Vegas. Yeah, there you go. Y'all both mods. Y'all both mods. But that's the thing. It's just like I can't control that, so that's why I started streaming on two different things at the same time. So that way, if I'm talking here and I just get shut down, because YouTube, whole different platform. TikTok doesn't promote you when you start saying YouTube all the time. That's why I just have it up top there so that people can see it. That way, if they want to follow that way, if I'm talking, y'all understand what I'm talking. Y'all like what I'm saying. Y'all can just follow me there, and y'all can watch there if I ever get cut off here. I am going to be. Then this is for the veteran stuff also, because this was supposed to be a veteran chat, but the shit went sideways. Um, this went sideways, and it was supposed to be more on the veteran chat, veteran workshops. What I'm going to be doing is, because the thing is freedom of speech is no longer freedom of speech in most of these platforms. So I have my veteran awareness project website. Most likely the workshops will be moved onto strictly the website, because literally I'll just probably post little videos here and there and stuff like that. Free speech is not free speech anymore. So basically, if I get reported for speaking truth or speaking my opinion, it's like I'm not giving out bullshit information. I'm just putting shit together that most people ain't thinking about, and people will report me. MAGA will get mad because I'm making too much sense and make their fucking heads explode. So that's why I say follow me on the YouTube, and then from there on the site, that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be shifting it so that way I'm streaming directly from my own website, so I can say whatever the hell I say or whatever. How do I feel about the U.S. veterans on the way to Gaza? I was just like, the way I feel about it, Sagi, is I'm thankful for veterans doing this. As a veteran myself, I'm thankful for it. But the problem is, it should have never got into that. That's the part. It should have never gotten that people had to fucking go against the world and send fucking boats and ships to bring aid. Should have never fucking gotten into that. Should have never reached that fucking point. But for anything like that, that's what it's gonna be. Um, I may change my stance. Oh, there's another thing I wanted to say for the YouTube and the veteran awareness thing. I'm probably gonna change my stance on not charging people for this assistance. It's not going. It's gonna be like $50. If you want to have a discussion, you want to talk about your claims, your entitlements, and stuff like that, I'm gonna be charging $50 for it. Because at the same time, there's too many people here. Like, it sucks because I'm gonna be taking away a free resource from people that need it. But at the same time, there was too many dumb fucks that decided to fucking vote for this shit and cause the fucking heartache and all the shit for all the other veterans. So if I'm gonna be giving out fucking assistance, it's gonna be, yeah, I'm gonna assist you fully, but I'm gonna be compensated for it, because I don't know where you fall. I don't know if you were one of the ones that decided to vote against all veterans' rights or just fucking humanity in general. So I'm not just gonna start educating these people like I've been doing here on TikTok. I've been educating MAGA for fucking months now, going past a year. And where have we gotten? Fucking nowhere. So it sucks. I'm still going to do workshops like that, but the workshops are not going to be as often. If you follow me on there, you will get the assistance you need, because I'm going to still answer every question, and it's still going to be the same platform, same thing. But I'm going to be streaming on my website more, because here I can explain to y'all, I can preach to y'all, and I was just like, look at the stuff I've been talking about. Have I stated anything that has been a lie? That's all I got to say. Everything I've stated has come from a fact, or just me putting together different facts and adding them together and giving you a different perspective that you might not have seen. TikTok don't like that. YouTube don't like that. Shit, any platform right now is getting to the point where they don't want to assist you in pushing out the information that is viable to people, will assist people, will help people better themselves. They don't want that shit. They want you to fucking struggle. They want you to fucking think that getting gifts on TikTok is crazy. Like, imagine for every gift you get, if you give a one, you get half of that. That's not fucking making anything. I'm not gonna tell people, hey, go out here and spend crazy amount of money. Nah, I don't need you to do that. If you follow me on YouTube, all you gotta do is watch the video. You don't gotta pay money. If you're on TikTok, you gotta donate. You don't have to do that. If you want to donate to the veterans page. I have a donation thing there. Use that because that just helps me create more stuff and develop more stuff for veterans. If that's how y'all want to donate and assist, help me help other veterans. Not this page. I don't care about this page. This I use it because I have my biggest following here. I have close to 6,000 subscribers in YouTube. The Cruise Talks one, that one is fucking, I maybe got like 25 people on there. But my main one, the veterans one, is closing in on 6,000. And I don't even post that much. I just make videos every Sunday. But it's football season. People gonna pay attention to football. That's fine. I'm gonna just be making it. Probably my workshops is gonna be once a month, first Sunday of the month. And those I'll do, and it'll just be a big thing. I'm not going to be paying attention to anything unless it's a question. And that's how it's going to go moving forward. So it's going to be once a month. We're changing it. Just once a month, we'll do that. If you have anything or any questions, if it's somebody that has a question that has been there before, just leave a question on a comment. Or you can reach out to me via email. If you reach out via email, I'll do it that way. I'm still going to be on TikTok because I'm going to keep talking my shit till they ban me. Remember, September 13th, the new guidelines come in. So eventually, the way I speak and the way I talk about things is not going to be acceptable on this platform. So need to start making sure that y'all are transitioning and having another way to still voice your opinion, still be able to talk without being mitigated or told what to do it. Of course, my birthday. Well, happy birthday to you, Deja, in case I don't see you by then. But that's what it is. We have to be able to keep talking because the thing is they don't like the fact that we keep on communicating. We don't like the fact that we keep talking about the shit that makes too much sense. They don't want people to understand and they don't want people to know that you know what the fuck is going on. They don't want that. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to acknowledge that. They don't want you to see or they don't want you to be able to be identified as like, damn, this person is actually talking sense. This person is actually talking about how to fix the country or the hypocrisy of the country or the outlying factors that are playing out lies that the media isn't covering. We got a whole country that's been demolished over the past couple of years, decades, and nobody has said anything. We've seen the destruction in Gaza. You don't see that shit being covered. Awfully quiet. Like Saudi said, they had to send fucking boats to bring aid. Imagine that people had to do that out of their own will to get on boats to bring aid to Gaza because the rest of the fucking world chose not to. So I'll leave y'all with that. You have a good rest of your week. I'll see y'all online at some point. When, not sure. I'll be there. YouTube, follow me on there. I'll still be posting here and there, but I'm going to minimize my exposure to the rest of social media and just concentrate on my website because then I know I can say what I want. I can do what I want with my website. I own the website and I can't be censored and I can't be banned for talking the truth. As always, be good to one another. Take care of one another. Look out for one another. Love one another. And stay marvelous while doing it, y'all. I'm just Cruz. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.